in today's game,
yes,
hold on,
right,
in today's game, the superstars not let other superstars get off. Yes, they do. Does LeBron not let Kobe get off? I mean, KD get off in the game. Yes, he does. Does Kobe not let LeBron get off? Yes, he does. They do it.
Let me say one thing, please. Let me say one thing. Do you know what the definition? Hold on. Let me do it all the time.
Yes, they do it all the time, bro.
Let me explain something, please. Let me explain what the definition.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of From the Sideline podcast. I'm Troy, and I'm back with my trusted co-host, Pete. Pete, how you doing today?
What's going on, brother? Happy New Year, man.
Happy holidays. New Year's right around the corner. We got to get those New Year's revelations or you know, what you guys want to do different this New Year's done. You know, I mix words up sometimes. You guys got to forgive me. But yeah, man, we're going to get into it. Thank you guys over on Spotify that's listening, to Apple Music, Google Podcasts. If you guys didn't know, we are up on those platforms. I'm going to try to do a better job in podcasts, talking to you guys in the listening group, because you guys don't see the video and normally we're all reacting off the video. But yeah, we want to thank you guys over on YouTube for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button, man, and leave us a comment. If you guys watching, if you like something, you dislike something, leave us a comment, man. Get into some dialogue with us so we can start, you know, having some conversations, man. Like we said before, we're trying to build a family over here. We want you guys to be a part of it. But you know, without
we like to talk. You know, we like to talk. So write us something.
Right. Let us know how you feeling. You know, how you what you think about the topics we talking about. What we should talk about next. You know. But without further ado, we're gonna kick it to Pete for Pete's message. And Pete, what you got for us today?
Yeah, what's going on, man? Sorry I missed everybody the last episode. Once again, some prior obligations, but I apologize. From here going forward, I don't see myself missing too many episodes. So I think my schedule is pretty aligned with the podcast and what else I got going on in my life and personal life. So I'm looking forward to being around for every episode. But like you said, we're going to get into our message. It's a short and sweet one today. We know COVID is wrecking everything, basketball, football, hockey. It's just taking over. Players missing games, backups having to play, games being postponed to later dates, superstars not on the floor. A whole lot of that's taking place. But there is one positive thing that has come out of this. And I would say in basketball right now, if you're an OG like me, and there's certain players that don't play no more, that you don't get to see no more, but you remember exactly how good they were, especially when they've only been out of the league for a short period of time. None other to go to than my man, Lance Stephenson. But at the top of the list, Joe Johnson, Joe Smooth, Boston Celtic Joe right now, Troy's Boston Celtics. Okay, shoot. He finished his career pretty much with, you could pretty much say Brooklyn, okay? Unfortunately, we weren't able to get a championship with him, and I wish we had picked him up and threw him on the squad, because he's the type of guy where it's just great to have somebody like that on the team. He was first to come out and give all the credit in the world to Ice Cube and the Big Three. I watched a little bit of the Big Three. I think it's okay. I'm not like, you know, oh, I love it. I'm a 5-on-5 basketball guy. So the Big Three thing, I've only caught a few games here and there. But I know that Joe Johnson was tearing it up over there, winning championships, winning MVPs, and killing it. I've seen video of Joe Johnson taking the young boys to school, working them out, and Joe Johnson is still lighting dudes up. ISO Joe, Joe Smooth, Joe Cool, Joe Johnson, Atlanta Hawk Joe, call him whatever you want to call him. Joe Johnson has always been a beast in this league. We talk now about quiet superstars. Probably number one top guy on that list is probably Kawhi Leonard. Straight superstar, but a real quiet guy. You don't hear from him a lot. Well, before Kawhi Leonard, there was a guy named Joe Johnson. That was your quiet superstar. Maybe didn't have all the endorsements. Maybe didn't see him on TV all the time because of the team he was playing for. But the man straight up knew how to get buckets and put the ball in the hole. And Joe Johnson was a beast in this league. I also mentioned a guy like Lance Stephenson, real gritty guy, scrappy, get on the floor, do a little bit of everything. Nice to even see a guy like him give it another chance. You know, everybody wants to talk about 40 being old, and I get it. Besides Tom Brady out there ain't a lot of guys 40 plus still playing this game. But you know what? Joe Johnson is showing it that, you know what? I might not be as young as the 20-year-olds, but I can still get buckets in this league if you give me a chance. I don't know exactly what the Celtics plans are, how long they keep him for. Do they wait till COVID kind of ends and then they let him go? Is this just an experiment or whatever? But I mean, listen, the dude's voice is going to be a great veteran's presence for the team. And guess what? I'm like this. Okay, maybe he is a little bit older, but the guy obviously is in shape. He can still get buckets. He's fresh out the big three. Give the man 15 minutes a game, 20 minutes a game. You give Joe Johnson 15 minutes a game off the bench. Trust me when I tell you, he is going to be contributing in a positive way. So give it up for the old head, Joe Johnson. Put some respect on that man's name. And don't forget that I told you, when he gets the minutes with Boston, he gonna light it up. Back to you, Troy.
All right, and that was Pete's message. Now we got some guests in the house, and we're going to jump right into it. We got them on standby, so let me get them in here, and we'll be right back. Oh, what's up, guys? We're back with the guests. We're back. You guys already know Pete in the house, co-host, but we got GK back in the house. GK, how you doing, brother?
What's going on, everybody?
So what's up? What's up? We got Tighten Up in the house, you know, with the
always,
the
and
road.
we back.
You know, you guys
And
are
we
second in the conference right now. So
and we back. Hold on, we get a little bit of help. We right back at number one.
Hey,
Uncle Frank got that. Uncle Frank got that black light effect going on.
That's
You know
right.
what I mean? Just keeping it spicy.
He got the blue on for the Titans, and we got Roy in the building.
I'm back.
What's up, Roy? It's good to see you guys' faces. We had our Christmas show. I loved it. We had fun. And now we back. It's after Christmas. We're moving on to New Year's. I got to plan something out for the New Year's show. But we're going to jump into the first topic because you viewers at home know I don't like wasting time. I don't like filling with fluff. So we're going to get into it. So I'm going to take my ring off because it's in my way. But I'm going to explain it to you guys. So I know some of you guys were here. Some of you guys wasn't. So some of you guys know about this. Some of you guys don't. So early in our tender of starting our podcast, I told, I think it was Pete and GK maybe, that we were going to do a 21-0 Super Bowl team, undefeated team. That means they win every game in the regular season, all playoff games, go to the Super Bowl, they win the Super Bowl. But it's only from teams this year, so players that's active this year. The way it's going to work is all four of you guys, Pete, Roy, GK, and Frank, if I missed everybody, sorry. You guys are going to collectively discuss who you want as your quarterback, your running back. You guys get 3 wide receivers, an O-line, a defensive line, and a backfield. So it's all teams today, teams constructed. So you can pick Cincinnati's backfield, the Browns O-line, and all of these players that you pick, they will be in their prime. All right. They will be in their prime. And I'm
gonna including injured players too.
Yes, you include anybody from this that's on the team this year. All right. So,
Wait, so everybody's in their prime and everybody's healthy.
Everybody's prime and healthy. Yes. So it's up to you guys to pick
this season.
Yes. But you guys have to collectively pick 1 quarterback, 1 running back, 3 wide receivers, an O-line, D-line, and a backfield. Like you guys have to collectively do it. So that means you got to discuss amongst yourself, and you know, you guys got to make it happen. I'm pretty sure you guys understand. Let me see. I gotta get it ready. I'm pretty sure you guys understand what's going on. So we're gonna jump right into it. Can you see it?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So 21-0 Super Bowl team, today's team. So you got 1 quarterback, 1 running back, 3 wide receivers, an O-line, defensive line, and a backfield. All right. So give it to me. Start it off. Who you guys want? You can start anywhere too. You don't got to start from the top. You can start from the bottom, the middle, whoever you want.
I think the big question is, I mean, if we're doing this collectively, what's everybody want to do? Do you want to take who you think is the best overall, or do you want to take who's having the best season this year?
I mean, either way, Tom Brady got to be number 1.
Yeah, I agree. If we're going prime of all time, then I think
off right there.
Yeah, I think we need Brady.
We're going prime, right?
Yeah, I think we need Brady.
I mean, I would put Rodgers.
That's a close one. I don't know.
I'm not a big fan. I'm not having no mobility back there.
Yeah, Brady. That's what I'm saying. Like Rodgers is real fast. Like
faster than Brady, that's for sure.
And like everybody's in their prime, so like.
Okay, I mean, but it's a good. I mean, shoot. Honestly, I mean, it's either Rodgers, him, or Pat Mahomes, right?
I would say it's down to that 3.
Down to that 3, right?
Respectfully, I think that those are the only 3 options.
Yeah.
But who do you guys trust the most in their prime in a pressure situation? It's got to be Tom Brady.
Well, honestly, Tom Brady actually had the chance to be 21-0 and he blew it.
That's a great point, Pete.
That's the thing too, is like there was a few times like he had the ball in the fourth quarter against the Eagles and blew that one too.
Right.
More
It's
than
weird
Aaron
saying
Rodgers.
that Tom Brady blew anything considering how many Super Bowl championships and how much crazy stuff he's done. But if we are talking 21-0, I feel like, damn, Brady had his chance to lead a 21-0 team. I get it. Our team doesn't matter and doesn't really mean anything. But
But do you think he'd let it happen a third time?
Yeah.
You mean a second time?
Oh, second time, yeah.
Are we going to ignore Aaron Rodgers' playoff history?
Yeah, that too.
I mean,
yeah, but we also got to remember here, it's the whole rest of the like
playoff wins came during one run.
We're gonna have, all-stars at every position. So I feel like Aaron Rodgers with all-stars at every position versus Brady with all-stars at every position. I'm taking Rodgers.
Well, not only that too. I mean, I get it. The title is 21-0 Super Bowl team. But I mean, we could even kind of look at it as like, who do you pick in one game to win it for you? You can even kind of say that, you know what I mean? Is that going to change? If you got one guy to win a game for you, is that going to change you choosing a guy that's going to go 21-0 for you? I feel like if I'm picking a guy to win one game, it's definitely Brady. If it's to go 21-0, he had his chance, he didn't get it, but I could still see us still picking him too. You know what I mean? I'm cool with any one of the three, guys. I'm cool with any one of the three.
Yeah, I wouldn't be upset with any of them, to be honest with you.
It's not helping decide. Pick one.
With all due respect, I mean, I'd be a little upset if Brady wasn't the number one. I mean, he shows you in every category, every statistical category, every play that determines that you would say use heart to determine the outcome of plays. He's just more trusted in pressure situations. Time after time, when you've seen Aaron Rodgers in the playoffs under pressure situations, and it's the same thing as Brett Favre. They always wind up coming up short in the end. And so for that reason alone, I mean, I'm just going off pressure situations in the playoffs. Just what I've seen up until that moment. I mean, even in their primes, I'm trusting Tom Brady. He's always been able to do a lot more with less than Aaron Rodgers has.
Well, the one disadvantage with the whole Pat Mahomes thing is sample size. He ain't been around as long as the other two guys have. So
he's not nearly as cerebral.
With that being said, I'm cool with Brady if y'all are. Brady and Rodgers. I'm cool
Everybody
with
eye for Tom
I'm
Brady?
good with Brady.
All right.
How about this? Why don't we what about make it Tom Rodgers?
Tom Rodgers.
Yo,
does that work? A little bit of both?
I'm good with Brady, man. I'm good with Brady.
Aaron Brady.
Aaron Brady.
Can I just say I totally misunderstood the premise of this last night. I was thinking that it was like an all-time team, and that's what I did
that
my
one's
research
coming up later.
off of.
The all-time team's coming up later.
I got you. It'll come up later. Okay.
We got to do current teams first.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine. I get it. I don't like it, but
Not about like, it's about building. All right, what's next?
Running back. Let's do
King
running back.
Henry.
no, it's the whole backfield.
So
Backfield is corners, safeties.
Yeah, like your
can we pick
secondary.
2 running backs for this one?
Well,
I was thinking that
it's
too.
a team's
2 running
backfield.
backs.
2 run team.
I mean, whatever. I mean, who y'all like? Derrick Henry? I mean, Christian McCaffrey?
I just want
it's
your
running
starters. That's what I want. Your backups
Yeah.
don't really matter. So another running back would just be a backup. You're gonna have 1 starting quarterback, 1 starting running back, 3 starting wide receivers, O-line, defensive line in the backfield.
Henry or McCaffrey?
Wait, isn't running back and backfield the same thing?
No, backfield is like your defense,
backfield
like your
is
secondary.
safety, corners.
No.
That's secondary.
Technically, you would have
That's
a fullback.
secondary. GK is 100% right. It's
Yeah,
called your
secondary.
secondary.
You would have a fullback, Pete, and for GK and not Pete, for Frank, you would have a fullback, but I didn't put fullback here because I just wanted the prime positions. And I didn't want to make the list long because I could have literally just put every position, but I didn't want to do that. And for GK and Pete, it's called backfield today.
Today it's called back. We know what you mean. That's all that's
wrong.
Yeah.
But
All right, we're good.
You can say it's wrong, but it's there.
All right, running back. Are we doing CMC?
so then we're just picking one running back and not the team's stable of running backs.
Yeah, one running back.
Correct.
Henry or CMC?
But now, before we even make a decision on this too, is there anybody else that should be in the running?
Alvin Kamara.
That's a good one. That's a good
Between
one.
him and Henry and King Henry.
That's a good one.
Adrian Peterson.
Yeah, Adrian Peterson is still technically in the league.
Yeah,
so-
he's on a team, right? And you're
Yeah.
talking about prime.
And him in his
That's a good
prime.
one.
He was a fumble machine in his prime, as good as he was.
Hmm.
Fumble machine.
I'd tell you what, I'd be okay with Henry, to be honest with you. I think I would like to have King Henry as my running back on a 21-0
Oh
team.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
And to be
yeah, that's
honest,
cool,
he
man.
came up on my all when I did this list as like an all times list.
I
And
did
to be
too.
honest, he came up on my all times list. To be honest, like
I
him
wouldn't
and
go
Alvin
that far.
Kamara were him and Kamara was my two all time. If I had to pick two like backfield players,
Mhm.
because as far as being able to catch the ball out of the backfield and be able to run in between the tackles and be an every down back, I think Alvin Kamara more so personifies that than a Christian McCaffrey. Even though Christian McCaffrey, I think he deserves he deserves to be in the category. But if I had to pick out of those two, I think Alvin Kamara is more of an explosive receiver out of the backfield than Christian McCaffrey. That will give me the edge over him. But like I said, it's either him or King Henry in my book.
Mhm.
Well, I don't think there's any running back that catches the ball out of the backfield better than Christian McCaffrey, in my opinion. I mean, if you're
Agreed.
going to compare the next person, I would say
Cordero Patterson.
Kamara. Who'd you say?
Cordero Patterson.
Yeah, listen. Yeah, he does it all too, but just catching the ball on screen passes, I like Christian McCaffrey, even though Kamara does a lot of that also. I think Kamara's better handing the ball off to than Christian McCaffrey is. But I think Christian McCaffrey's better at catching the ball out of the backfield.
I think
Listen,
Alvin Kamara,
is
he gets
Henry.
split out wide a lot. Like so
He
a
does.
lot of his passes don't just come from the backfield. He gets split out to the wide. He gets split out to the slot.
right.
They really move him around like a wide receiver.
McCaffrey does that too, though. McCaffrey gets
he-
slid out sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely.
So-
That's what I'm saying. Those two
Yeah.
guys are in the same category.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't be upset with either one.
Listen, so going into the day, I thought we were choosing the whole backfield. So my answer was easily the Browns because they got Chubb.
I agree.
But now that it's just one guy, I feel like it's got to be Henry.
I go with Henry. I'm okay.
And can I
with
just
that.
ask you something, GK, really quick? What makes you pick a Nick Chubb over a guy like Jonathan Taylor, who's showing you just this season?
No, GK said the whole backfield.
Yeah, so he's
okay,
considering the whole
okay.
backfield.
So he's talking about Kareem Hunt too.
So, all
Yeah.
right, yeah, all right, bet. All right, never mind.
Like if you're talking about a 1-2 punch, yeah, Chargers are probably right up there. I'm sorry, I said Chargers. I mean Browns. I'm
Browns,
sorry.
yeah.
Sorry, Browns.
All right, so we're all good with Derrick Henry.
Yeah, DH definitely.
Okay.
Yeah, King Henry.
I'm surprised nobody even said Taylor though, too, because I mean, I wouldn't have even minded if it was him either. I feel like they're.
I don't think I think it's the same thing with the Patrick Mahomes, the sample size.
Yeah.
You know what though? I
Yeah.
feel like if I was gonna say Jonathan Taylor, I feel like the deciding thing for me would be that Jonathan Taylor didn't become the NFL's leading rusher this season until Derrick Henry got hurt.
Yeah.
Respectfully.
Derrick Henry was having the better season. Now we're talking about Jonathan
Respectfully.
Taylor because Derrick Henry ain't running the ball.
Right.
Like the way you
Okay.
put that, Pete.
Wide receivers.
I thought you
Right.
would.
So we got Tom Brady
Yeah,
as
I
quarterback,
like you
Derrick
put
Henry
that,
as
my
our running
guy.
back. We're now working on our wide receivers. And as you guys see, I put backfield and under it in parentheses. I put the abbreviation of defense. All right. Should make it a little bit more easier for you guys. But let's get these wide receivers out the way.
Julio.
Julio
Has to be there. Julio has to be there.
That was my number one.
He's such a bum right now, but yes, prime. Yes, yeah.
He's hurt, man. I'm gonna say he's a bum. He's just real hurt, man. He's playing hurt, and you can tell, man.
He's also kind of getting up there in age, though. You gotta
Yes,
remember,
yeah.
he's a little older now.
A lot of wear and tear. He's no longer a number one on any team he plays for.
So your first wide receiver, you guys are collectively agreeing on Julio Jones?
Julio, yes.
I don't think we should even do it as like who's 1, 2, 3. Just all three are going to be superstars for the most part.
That's fine. They're all on our team anyway. We're running a spread offense.
Wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2, and wide receiver 3.
We're running a spread offense. They're all
we're not putting them in order. We're not putting them in order.
I need a wide receiver 1, a wide receiver 2, and a wide receiver 3.
All right, Julio number 1.
Doesn't matter.
Julio, and literally, I'm not gonna skip 1 and go wide receiver 2 and put Julio Jones. So tell me who you want as your number 1 wide receiver, your number 2 wide receiver, and your number 3 wide receiver. That's why it's written the way it is written. So if you want Julio as the number 1 spot, Julio in the number 1 spot.
All right, Julio.
So we all agree.
So when you say that, right, what does that mean? The other 2 are coming off the bench for him?
No, because you always start. If you you just said you're running the spread offense, so all 3 of them will be on the field. So what does it matter? I get what you guys are saying, but I'm saying for the integrity.
But Julio's the number 1 option.
Yes, because other people on TikTok and Instagram are going to see this, and they're not going to see the whole conversation. That's what you guys have to think about. All right, they're not going to see the hold on, GK. They're not going to see the whole conversation, so they're not going to know the whole content of it. So if I'm putting Justin Jefferson as your number 1 wide receiver, people probably look like, yo, what are they doing? That's why I'm saying put them in the order that you want them to. Your top wide receiver, your second wide receiver. It doesn't matter if they're all superstars. Who you want first, who you want second, who you want third. So the people that's looking at this can understand it a lot better than them trying to have to go back to the video, watch the whole segment to understand where you guys' thought process is coming from. Even though some people might need to do that, this should simplify it for them when they see the list. Okay, Tom Brady. Okay, we know Tom Brady's good. Derrick Henry. Okay, we know Derrick Henry's good. Oh, Julio Jones, one of the best number 1 wide receivers in the game. That's how I'm thinking about it. That's why I said collectively, you guys build a 21-0 team. One quarterback, 1 wide receiver, 1 running back, 1 quarterback, 3 wide receivers, so on and so forth. So it's so people that look at the list. This is not for us. That's what you guys have to think about. You guys are building the team, but it's not for us. It's for the people that's watching.
All right, Julio.
So Julio's
the number 1 option. He's getting the most targets.
Julio.
He's running the most routes. That's our number 1. Okay.
Julio. And number 2 already. Y'all want to say Devontae?
Adam? Yeah, I'd like Devontae. Yeah, I mean,
we gotta put.
I say AB.
Hold on, guys.
Listen.
Yeah, are we building? We're building this like a team we're going to use, right? So we have X receiver, a Y receiver, and a Z receiver, right? So we have a slot receiver and 2 guys wide, right?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
It's however you guys want to run the offense, that's fine, but you guys just build a team. So GK's asking a legit question that you guys need to discuss.
Well, I mean, listen, we need to just get like probably 5, 6 names out there so we know how we narrowing it down.
Yeah. Let's get names out there.
Yeah, I think a guy like Davante Adams, if you go back to quarterback, running back, even though Derrick Henry is, young a little bit or whatever, it's nice to see that, like, we not just, like how we said Adrian Peterson before. That's strictly on prime when we mentioned his name because we know how he is now. You know what I'm saying? Davante Adams is one of those guys, like, for instance, Pat Mahomes got a little bit disrespected just because he didn't have the resume that Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers had. That's why we had Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady. We weren't sure who we were going to put at quarterback. For once, a young guy like Davante Adams, we can say in his prime, he deserves to be on this list. Plain and simple.
But GK also mentioned
over AB.
He also mentioned AB. Yeah, that's a good one.
Antonio Brown's a good one.
You're talking about slot in Pittsburgh when he was racking up 115.
You're right. You are 100% right.
20 catches. He was doing otherworldly, and then
he's the best wide receiver in football for like a 2-3 year stretch.
He's returning punts and kickoffs.
Yeah,
this is how I look at it too. Adams is an X, so I look at it like I would go Julio on one side, Tyreek Hill on the other side because you want a speedy guy, and then in the slot Antonio Brown because who would you take over him in the slot? So if we're talking like this is what we want the team to look like Davante Adams and Julio Jones, although they're not entirely similar, but they play the same position. And if I'm picking one in their prime, I'm picking Julio. So that's why I want Tyreek Hill on the other side because he's going to stretch the field. He's not going to be running X receiver routes, right? And then your slot, I mean,
AB should be the slot.
Exactly.
Yeah. Listen, AB should be the slot. But here's my thing, right? We talk, everybody talks about Tyreek Hill's speed just because of the fact that he's small, right? And he's so fast. Let me see somebody line up with Davante Adams and tell me that man ain't fast.
His
Like,
route
you can't
running
just-
is just
But he's not
amazing.
as fast as Tyreek Hill.
But we've seen
He's not
time and
as-
time again
route
where
running,
Tyreek
it-
Hill can be contained. I mean, you can look at just this
Exactly.
season and see Tyreek Hill's
Yeah,
numbers are so
yeah.
inconsistent.
We can't keep giving
They're
the edge
so
to Tyreek Hill
inconsistent.
just based on speed when every wide receiver in NFL is super fast too. You know what I mean? I get it.
Yeah, but
Tyreek Hill is known for speed, but I mean, come on.
I'm talking
Devontae
about in
Adams
terms
will
of
blow by you.
in terms of scheme to go 21-0. Like, you want a guy that the safeties have to respect him. So even if he doesn't catch not one ball, I don't care. Like, that's going to open up the bottom for AB and Julio Jones.
But then
But all of those other
but
receivers
GK,
can do that.
but exactly use that word respect. So what? We don't respect the defense doesn't respect Devontae Adams running by him.
But they're not going to guard him the same way.
I'd take Devontae.
Yeah, I don't want a little wide receiver. Me personally myself.
Yeah.
I want a guy that can go to get up and get the
Go
ball.
get the ball.
Go get the ball.
Go get the
Yeah,
ball.
that's why you have
Isn't
Julio.
a shorthand receiver.
That's why you have
Tyreek
Julio.
is
And
not
how
a
come we don't have a
shorthand
tight
guy.
end on here?
That's what I said. That's why a tight end was going to be my third receiver.
Because
honest.
Julio's huge. If we have a huge tight end, we don't need Tyreek Hill to be big. We only need him to be fast.
Exactly.
Listen, yeah.
He's adding there right. He's
Troy
adding there
forgot
right
the tight
now.
end.
He's
Troy
adding there right
forgot
now.
the tight end.
He's
He
adding
gotta
there
add the
right
tight
now.
end. I mean, listen.
Just take out
Yeah,
the third
I mean-
receiver and just make the third receiver. a
Oh, he
tight
got it
end.
right there. He got it right there. We're good. All right. So so can we agree that with AB though as being our
Slot.
receiver? Yeah. Our
Well, hold
slot.
on a second. Maybe we can't agree on that if we talk about losing a third receiver and we're going down to only two.
No, keep three.
He's
three,
keeping
right?
three, adding in.
I
tight
want it
end.
to be like a real football team. Like,
Yeah.
two outside guys, a slot.
Yeah.
So
you
we
gotta-
agree Antonio Brown has to be on there.
Yes.
Julio in his prime,
Yeah.
definitely. Atlanta Falcons, Julio, you couldn't stop that man. Okay.
Yeah.
I say Devontae. That's just me.
I say Devontae as well,
For the
considering
people
now that
at
we have a tight
home,
end.
for the people at home, I was talking. You guys didn't hear me. I forgot my mic was mute, but I got you guys. Don't worry about it. I got you. I forgot tight end. That's on me.
You good?
All right, now we got tight end in the building, so I still need three
Cool.
wide receivers in the tight end.
Cool.
I'm surprised Roy isn't going AB.
I said
being a
AB.
Pittsburgh fan.
Oh, I
No,
said
we all
AB.
said
Talking about
All right,
over
so
Devontae.
I was trying to fix
as
this.
Oh, over
Do you guys
Devontae?
do you guys have your second wide receiver?
Antonio Brown in the slot.
AB?
Yeah. See, when I think slot, I think of third. I don't know. I was gonna put him in the third because, like, say, oh, he's the slot, while the other two are the wideouts. I don't know. That's how I looked at it.
Yeah.
But that's fine too. That's fine too. Yeah, AB, and then
All right.
Devontae for number 3.
That's what I said.
I would say Devontae. I mean, I get the argument for Tyreek Hill, but I mean, now that we have this tight end, I think we can kind of do whatever we want with that. You know what I'm saying?
Respected Antonio Brown. God damn.
And as good as Devontae is, I'm more of a D Hop fan. To be
Mm,
honest,
That's another name.
D-Hop
That's another
impact.
name.
yeah.
impact is just phenomenal everywhere he goes with every quarterback. And you see his impact on the Cardinals with him not being there. They're a totally different team when that guy is not on.
And he
the
don't
field.
drop no balls either, man.
Build
He
their
gets
Super Bowl.
catching
What?
everything.
Had a whole season where he didn't drop one pass.
You guys are
And he-
picking people that play the same position, though. They all play the same position.
Those are the,
Julio
but
plays.
that's who I'm
So
comparing.
how are we going to
to
have three
Devontae
guys
Adams.
playing the same position?
We can because we got AB in the slot and we got two dominant wide receivers out
Yeah,
there.
but
You
they don't
gotta,
do the same. They don't. Okay, it's fine.
I get
But
what
wait,
you're
no, hold on a
saying.
second,
They
GK.
move all those
Don't
guys
you need
around.
two
All those
guys on the
have
outside?
playing slots?
Yeah, but
You
they don't
said-
do the same job. They don't do the same job. Like, they're not complementary.
Well, they're complimenting in the
They
fact
all
that
do.
quarterbacks
They're
have
supposed-
to
I'm saying they're
respect them.
supposed to be
Actually, all
complimentary.
get lined up in the slot, the Y, the X, and the Z. They all play all three positions. That's why
No,
you can
of
put
sure,
that's
of
why you can really
course, of
compare
course.
those guys.
Of course, but I'm talking about, like, ideally, if you're an offensive coordinator, like,
You wouldn't mix them up.
Huh?
You still would if you had that three, put Devontae in there if you guys wanted. If you had those three wide receivers, you still wouldn't take chances moving those guys around to the slot. I mean,
So listen,
I-
if I had Brown and Devontae, I wouldn't want Julio. I still want Tyreek Hill or whoever or like Deshaun Jackson in his prime, or like whoever like the fastest guy in the league is. Like, I would want that as one of my guys.
So I'll be honest with you. I mean, I feel like we
so
put
you
too
just going
much in.
speed.
I feel like we putting too much though into like slot X, Y, Z. Man, I don't care. You give me three. If you give me three wide receivers that I really like a lot, and they all play out wide, I'm gonna still throw them on this list as the 3 best wide receivers because they'll get it done. One of them can slide to the slot, no big deal.
Yeah, but we're not doing that. We're building a 21-0 team. We're not just saying who's the best at this. Like,
well, first of all,
we're building a
That's
team.
what I'm saying. So you're getting the
I
best.
still feel that way,
the
GK.
best
Building a
players at
21-0
both
team,
options.
I got no problem putting 3 wide receivers out there if all 3 play the X. I don't care about that. I really don't. That don't even mean nothing to me.
Yeah, but that's not like ideal.
I mean, first of all, GK, we just now said something about when we seen he had 3 wide receivers. That's when all of a sudden we came up with this XYZ stuff. Before looking at the list, correct me if I'm wrong, anybody, all we were going to do is just throw out 3 wide receivers that are best in their prime.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden we started talking X, Y, and Z, I feel like.
Yeah, because you don't want to narrow down the wide receiver because if you have to do that for the offensive line because you have to do that with the tackles.
Exactly.
And
There you go, Frank.
No, that's not true because we're picking the entire team's line. We're not picking position by position. So if that's the case, like if we're doing it like that, then why aren't we picking in a whole team's wide receiver room? If we're picking a whole team's lineman room, why aren't we picking a whole team's wide receiver?
I didn't want you to take. If that's in case, I could have just asked you who was the best team and then put all the players from that team.
Yeah.
So then why aren't we picking the best left tackle, the best left guard, the best center?
We don't need to do that.
That's what I thought we was doing.
I'm not picking
Yeah,
best players. What I'm asking you guys.
How about this, right? As much as sports as everybody knows in this room, we're gonna start throwing out names of right guards, left tackles, and stuff like that. I mean.
No,
that's
but
too much.
it's not even about that. Why would I go position by position when we're just talking about the main core offense, defense? And I get what you're saying about lines, but it's easier to take one team line than be like, oh, I take this team's right tackle, I take this team's left tackle, I take this.
But that's
team's
what I'm
center.
saying. So then why aren't we taking one team's wide receiving group?
Because that's more core.
Because it makes that's not what building the team is. If that's the case, then just tell me you want the Browns and that's it, GK. That's what I'm saying. If we're just gonna pick a team's wide receiving core, then just tell me what team you want and that's it. We might as well just pick one team and that's it. No, I want you guys to break these teams down and build the team out of all 32 teams in the NFL.
Right,
it's not just one team. I want you to take the all 32 teams into consideration.
If you're a GM, you're not like, I mean, honestly, if you could have them, that's great. But like,
this is a fantasy draft, all right? GK fantasy. Now, can we?
Well,
get
that's a different category too. If you're talking in terms of fantasy football points, that's way different too.
It's a fantasy football. I didn't say fantasy football. I said fantasy draft. Fantasy draft and fantasy football is 2 different things. Let me get this clear. Let me just straighten this out so we can stop all the BS. Right? When you're building a team from players in the NFL, it doesn't matter what team they're on. The only reason why I did O-line and defensive line and then corners and safeties off of one team because it made it simpler for us not to spend an hour on this one topic because we have another NFL tier list to do after this. All right. Yes. So what the point was to make it quick. It was to make it quick for you guys to build a team that people can relate to and be like, okay, all right, defensive line. Browns have a really good defensive line. That defensive line is dope to go on this team with these corners and safeties from whoever.
I get you.
That's what I'm saying. It's a fantasy draft. You're building a fantasy 21-0 team. This is not real life, GK. This is who you guys want to build a fantasy team. This isn't a real team. This team will never play in the NFL. They will never play in the NFL together. All right. This is not, we're building, it's fantasy. It's all about your fantasy, what you guys want to see work together. That's what it is. It's a fantasy draft. You guys are putting your fantasies together like, okay, Derrick Henry with Tom Brady handing him the ball and the schemes they're going to do together, that fits. Julio Jones with AB on the court, okay, that's going to be space opening all over the court. Quarterback like Tom Brady can throw it to any one of those guys. That's what I want you guys to do. I want you guys to just get in your brain, be like, all right, this list of people fit together, nobody will beat them.
All right, so let's get the ball rolling. Let's get the ball rolling. Wide receiver 3. Can we say Devontae Adams, please?
So it sounded like the names that were mentioned were Hopkins, Devontae Adams, and Tyreek Hill. Those are the 3 names I'm hearing. I said Adams, so I'm not going to change what I said.
I say Devontae.
I'll go Devontae.
There it is.
All right, so we got Devontae.
So Devontae, 3rd wide receiver.
Yes.
All right, tight end.
Can we all say Kelsey?
Kelsey?
I think that one's
George Kittle.
I mean, it's an argument.
I mean, that's the 2 that it's going to be between, right?
If you had,
Well, hold
if
on
you
a
had to
second.
pick
Think
a
real
tight
quick.
end,
Are there
because one of those tight ends gonna have to block. They're gonna have to block.
What about Gronk in his
eventually.
prime? Are we serious?
Oh, Gronk, yeah.
Gronk in his prime? What?
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
I
That's
mean, if
true.
we can put Tom Brady over Pat
Tom
Mahomes,
Brady.
I feel like we can put Gronk over
Kelsey.
Kelsey.
Why?
Just
Gronk
because
has
I
that
feel like
resume, man.
our reason for doing Tom Brady was
We're
Pat
not
Mahomes
doing
didn't have-
resume. We're doing in their prime for a
Exactly.
undefeated
Exactly.
season. So if you put Kelsey and Gronk next to each other, they're basically the same
I
thing.
should have never
except
told you
Kelsey's
guys they were in their
faster.
prime. I should have waited if you guys did the list and then said it.
Like, tell me what's the difference between Kelsey and Gronk? Nothing. Literally nothing
I'm
except
confused.
for Kelsey's
What did you say?
faster
Gronk
than
is a
Gronk.
way better
GK,
blocker.
GK,
Yeah,
what did you say? What was
better
the reason
blocker.
why Pat Mahomes was left off this list over Tom Brady? You said, GK?
Cerebral.
No, but your last statement you just made like 5 seconds ago. You're like, we're doing in their prime or something you said.
Yeah, prime to go to have. If I'm trying to build a team that is going to go undefeated and win the Super Bowl,
Right.
and I can get either guy in their physical prime, like let's say, I don't know what that would be, 26, 27 years old, right? So
Pat Mahomes still has a whole lot of prime to prove, is what I'm saying. That's
Okay.
why I feel like Tom Brady got the edge,
Mhm.
right? Because I even made that statement. I'm like,
Yeah, and I
I
think
feel like
that's
we
why
can
I
put
threw Aaron Rodgers in there too, because you can kind of compare
Correct.
Aaron Rodgers.
Correct. I was like, listen,
but still,
Kelsey with Tom Brady. That's
but still,
sexy.
Mahomes isn't nearly as
Sexy.
cerebral as either one of those guys. His football IQ is not nearly what theirs is.
and he's got a whole lot of time to grow because he's the youngest out of all of them.
Of course. So if we do this again in 5 years, then we could probably pick Pat Mahomes if he's able to get his football IQ to what theirs is. But it just hasn't happened yet. But what I'm saying is, physically speaking, if they had not ever played a day in the NFL yet, and you just took them in the best physical year of their lives and put them side by side, I don't think that there's any difference. I think in strength, they're probably the same. Size, they're probably the same. The only thing that at hands, they're probably the same. Route running, reading the field, probably the same. The only difference is that Kelsey is faster than Gronkowski. So, like, why wouldn't you take Kelsey?
Blocking.
Okay.
Do you think his
You left that
blocking
part out.
capability, Gronkowski's blocking capability is that much higher?
Far
Listen.
more superior than Kelsey's.
Yes.
Kelsey don't block.
Kelsey is not a pass blocker at all.
Doesn't block.
Not a run blocker.
Listen.
No, I mean, that's a pass blocker. Run blocker.
I don't got-
I can tell you what Kelsey is though. He's a tackle breaker. He holds the lead, the lead
Yeah.
for. Well, only
But then-
other two wide receivers, which is Golden Tate and Jarvis Landry, has the same amount of missed tackles that Kelsey has. But Kelsey
Listen.
leads tight ends over 400 yards plus with
I don't mind speed being the reason that you choose the one over the other if you're narrowing things down. But at the same time, if I'm Gronk and I'm listening to this, I'm saying to myself, throw that speed out the window and just look at my career. Look at all what I did in the prime on all them Super Bowl teams with Tom Brady. Look at the things I did.
Right, but
That's-
okay, but if you substituted Kelsey into all those moments, you don't think you could replicate it?
That's a good point, GK. I'll go with that. That's why I'm not arguing about it. You say, all I'm saying is it was a little bit of disrespect because I even heard Kittle's name come up before I heard one person miss
Gronk.
Gronk.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I dude, I
He
think
went to the
Gronk
freezer.
absolutely.
Make a case for George Kittle.
That too, but I mean, like,
He's
damn, Gronk got
been
spit
playing
quick.
with George Kittle is in his prime right now. This is what I would consider.
Y'all are like lagging out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
both
what is
lagging
going
out.
on with you guys?
No, but okay, so
Who did I lag out?
Yeah,
No,
you
you're
lagged out
good.
too.
You're good.
And
Yeah,
then
no, you're good
Frank
now.
just lagged out.
I saw Frank lag, yeah.
I think all three guys deserve to be in the conversation for sure, because in terms of just a physical specimen, it's all very close. Like, I don't think you'd really like, if we're playing with this team, I don't think you'd really notice a huge difference whether we had any one of those three. I don't think there would be any real, like, if you simulated the season 3 times, each time with a different one of them, I don't think there's going to be a huge difference. I still think we probably can get to 21-0 if we're going to get to 21-0.
Yeah.
He's right. He's right.
Okay, so can we decide on one?
Kelsey.
Can we do Kelsey?
What's everybody say? I said Gronk, but I don't care about Kelsey. That's fine.
Honestly, I choose Kelsey, and it's not like it's by a whole lot. Like, Gronk would have been fine.
I agree. I agree.
So wait, what do you say, Frank?
Kelsey.
Okay, there it is. I ain't mad at that. No problem. But damn, at least say the man Gronk's name. Can
Yeah,
he be in
no,
the
I
lineup?
agree. I agree. He got to be mentioned in that. I agree with you 100%.
Damn.
Okay, so
Got
O-line.
the O-line. Thank you, Roy. I love you moving it along, Roy. Thank
Yeah,
you so
so
much. Keep doing
O-line,
your
I
thing.
got two in mind. And it's either the Cowboys or the Browns.
Disagree.
I got it different. I disagree.
Or the
Cleveland
Colts.
Browns, yes. I like the Colts. I like the
would
Colts.
say the Colts, yeah.
I like the
If
Browns.
we're
and the
talking
Colts.
about we get everybody in their prime, it's hands down easily 100% Eagles.
What?
And their prime. Oh,
Listen to
wait.
me. Hear me out. My Lotta is like a 400-pound animal, like freak of nature, left tackle, right?
Hasn't really reached his prime. He's really, really young.
Jason Kelsey, center in his prime, right? Right guard, Brandon Brooks. Not a lot of, if he's in his prime healthy, like there's not a lot of right guards I'm taking over him. Like he's definitely top 5. And then right tackle, Lane Johnson. Like he's also one of the best in the league. So I don't remember who their left guard is, but I feel like even if you have 4 out of 5 that, you know, I'm rating them like on a scale of 100, they're all 90 plus. So
see, now the thing about it is, you see how everybody, including myself, we all said real quick, we said Colts, we said Browns, we said Cowboys. And what do? We immediately went to who's doing what right now. We didn't take into the account like GK is right now on the prime. But I do want to say, if you're talking about O-line, D-line, it's not as easy to go with prime like you can with tight ends, wide receivers, running backs, and
Yeah,
quarterbacks.
I should have said it this way.
That's why it's got to be what Roy said. It's got to be the Cowboys because they've done it. If they're completely healthy, they've been returning starters for the longest.
But
they're healthy.
their left guard, center, and right tackle retired though. What do you mean?
I think this is the one category where prime don't mean nothing. I have no problem.
Well, so this is what I wanted to say about
now.
prime. You guys wasn't supposed to take prime into account. You guys was just supposed to pick the players and know at the end of it, they're all in their prime. It has nothing to do with their prime. I should have said this when GK went on his tangent about prime, but I wanted you guys to hash it out. But this list has nothing to do with their prime. They're just going to end up at the end of the list in their prime. So the team is an elite team. That's why I said in their prime. But you guys are just supposed to be picking players from today, and then at the end of it, they transfer into their prime. So, but you guys are thinking about, okay, if I pick this player in his prime, he will give me this, which ain't a problem for me. But now I just see that's where it's going. Every conversation is, I got to take prime.
So if that's the case, then
you guys feel has the best of the best this year, and that will be in their prime. I will put those players in their prime. So like Julio Jones isn't having the best season. We all know that. But on this list, Julio Jones is in his prime. So you guys got it right with Julio Jones. Just like Derrick Henry, he's injured this season. You guys got it right. Tom Brady's he's having a good season, but not the best season. So you guys got it there. But now as it's trickling down, it's starting to be more prime. Just get back to what you guys had in the beginning, and you guys can finish the list out beautifully. But you got a good list, so just keep it going.
If we say in prime, then I want to take the Colts right now because they're in their prime. And if you can protect Phillip Rivers last season and make him one of the least sacked quarterbacks when he's damn near 40 years old, he ain't mobile, he can't move, and you make him one of the least sacked quarterbacks in the NFL, I think your offensive line is pretty good.
And you look at how they're rushing the ball too, man. I mean, you got to think this is pass protect and run power here.
Yeah, but
I thought we were all basing it on, I felt like how much they protect and how much they block for a running back. I wanted to throw the pass protection part in there too.
Yeah.
Because Phillip Rivers is not mobile. He was old and he was never touched last season behind that offensive line. And they were in their prime and they're in their prime right now. And look at what Jonathan Taylor is doing. Look how successful Carson Wentz has been as of late.
Yeah.
I like the Colts even over the Browns, to be honest with you.
With that being said, I think I'll go with the Colts, to be honest with you.
Their left guard and center is really good, but you're really going to
whole line solid.
I don't know, man.
I mean, GK, when you talk about being around for a while and you named all those guys and what they did in their prime and stuff like that, I mean, those guys in their prime, I mean, who was the running back they were blocking for specifically?
It's going to be Derrick Henry.
No. But you're saying this based on how well they performed when they were in their prime. So I'm just saying to you, who was the running back?
I'm not at all. I'm saying
okay.
if you can give me everybody at the age of whatever the physical prime you consider, 27 years old, I guess. I don't know, whatever. Right. So if you give me all those 5 starting Eagles at the age of 27, like it's hard to have another 5 guys collectively that are all on the same team together right now that are better than them.
So what I'm saying is can you name the running back and quarterback that they did such a great job blocking for? That's all I'm saying. You have to be saying that based on how good they were in the past at some point. So can you name the running back and quarterback that they did such an amazing job for, where we were like, oh my gosh, LaShawn McCoy is the best running back because he was being blocked by these guys. That's all I'm saying.
All right, can we come up with a team?
And based on that pause, I like my decision with the Colts.
All right. We'll go.
I just think that's terrible.
Yeah, I don't know. The O-line, this shit is a little tricky now. Because you might have some teams that have 2 really outstanding offensive lines.
Yeah, I get you.
Who set the tone for that line. But then
just to pause in the action, I was thinking about what GK said for corners and safeties. When we get there, I'll come up with a number, but we're not going to do one team. We're going to split the corners and safeties up.
Okay. All right. O-line. Can we come up with a final answer? Anyone? Any thoughts, ideas? Hit me.
I take the Giants O-line.
Colts, Browns,
hey, listen,
those
Super Bowl Giants O-lines were good. They just all retired.
What are you talking about?
Take the Titans O-line.
Hold on, talk. I ain't want to bring it up, you know what I mean? I ain't want to bring it up, but look.
But what about the Steelers O-line? I take the Steelers O-line.
I was just about to say,
I know you're just talking out your ass now. Ain't no way. We have the worst offensive line in the NFL.
Yeah, the Steelers is like bottom.
But they all getting old.
All right, so we eliminated 3 teams there. Give me a team.
All right. Can we narrow it down?
Can we just say the Colts? Because I think they'll be the one team that's on everybody's list if you had like a top 2 or a top 3.
I'd say Colts.
Name 3 out of their 5 linemen.
I can't name 3 linemen in the NFL. No, I'm messing with you.
I can't either.
Nelson.
I mean, on the same team, I can't.
Quentin Nelson, I would grade above a 90 for sure.
I can't name them. I know my offensive line like to the T.
See, they passed what I call the visual test. That visual test.
There it is.
And they do it time and time again.
Then do it against the Titans twice.
All right, so we settled on Colts. So you can go ahead and put Colts there.
Yeah, settling on any.
Okay,
right,
D-line. Y'all got to hear me out. Okay?
I love Roy today.
I think we need to really have a discussion about Pittsburgh. I think the D-line for the Steelers is insane.
Oh, why?
Cameron Hayward, Stephon Tuitt, Tyson Alualu. Oh my gosh. I mean, like, okay, there might be some good other D lines out there, but name some. I'm saying that should be in a conversation, but name some other D lines for me.
Washington football team.
Got smoke.
I don't know. See the thing. Yeah. Okay.
Browns.
Tampa, Cleveland. Cleveland got a real good one. Miles Garrett. They got a good defensive line.
The Cowboys, to be honest.
It's
what about the Rams?
I think it has to be Tampa. If you get everybody at their prime age of football, it has to be Tampa.
Yeah, he's right. Pierre Paul.
Vita Vea.
Ndamukong Suh. Vita Vea. Yeah, I like Tampa too. I like Tampa.
We can do Tampa.
It has to be.
Like Tampa, Cleveland's good. What about the Rams?
Or even the Cardinals. The Cardinals, you get JJ Watt and you get Chandler Jones.
I still like Tampa.
Davion Clowney and Myles Garrett.
Yeah, no, I like that too.
And Jason Pierre-Paul.
Healthy? Yeah, come on.
And Jason Pierre-Paul with 5 fingers, not 3.
He gets his fingers back. Let's go.
He gets his fingers back.
Browns or the
Jason
Steelers.
Pierre-Paul gets his fingers back for this segment, man.
That is so.
The Browns or the Steelers.
You started destroying.
They said he
started
did
this
no,
weeks ago.
no, bro, nah, bro. I was
If
talking
you
about
don't
the
say
level
what you
of
said
play.
weeks ago, we would have
y'all
been got
over
off
here
this
taking it
man's
to the next
fingers.
level. Talk about we get JPP in his prime, we get his fingers back. That's OD, bro.
Yeah.
That's OD, bro. That is OD, bro. It might be 1 year with his fingers. All right, that's it.
Yeah.
All right, give him one finger back, not all five.
Yeah, we'll split it.
Missing his
I
Yeah,
whole
want
gotta
the
get
hand.
thumb.
Browns or the Steelers.
You better give me the thumb, the pinky, in the middle.
Pete, he's not missing his whole hand. He's only missing like 2 fingers off the hand.
Hey, listen,
All right.
when JPP was with the Giants, get that man a hook. He'll be all right. Put a hook on his hand. He'll be all right.
All right, so we
All right.
going Tampa.
Yeah, I like Tampa.
Any other arguments, GK?
Tampa's
Ah.
good.
Just to keep it
See,
moving, I'll
we
say
ain't got
Tampa.
linebackers. I'll say the Philly linebackers. No, hell no, never mind.
You changed your mind real quick.
Yeah,
I'm
I
taking
heard
the
this thing again.
76ers. All right, so corners. How many corners do you guys want?
We won 3.
3 corners and how
3
many
corners,
safeties?
2 safeties.
3 corners.
You gotta
2
have a slot.
corners and 2 safeties,
You
man.
gotta have a you gotta have a
Yeah,
slot.
man,
You gotta
2
have a
and 2.
slot cornerback.
2 and 2, man. Come
All right,
on,
all right.
wait. Give me a break.
All right.
All right, so
What kind of defense are we running? A 4-3? Who knows?
he said, what kind of defense are we running? All right, so
No,
give
that's
me
fine.
corners first.
Okay, can we
So-
say Jalen Ramsey?
Yeah,
Well, wait, we're picking corners individually, or
Yes.
Group-
It's all gonna go in one box, but yeah, you're
2 and
picking
2.
up. I told you, GK, you changed my
2
mind.
and 2.
You changed my
oh,
mind.
so
All right,
2
so
that
we
are on
got-
the same team corners, 2 that are on
No,
the same
you can
team
pick
safeties?
No,
you can
any
pick
4 guys.
any 4 guys from any team. It doesn't matter. They don't have to be on the same team no more. I'm gonna
Jalen
change
Ramsey.
that because you gave a good point. So I'm gonna keep the offensive line and defensive line the same as one because it's easier than to go through all those players, corners, and safeties. We can get to those names.
Okay, Jalen Ramsey is 1, right?
Right.
Yeah.
That's undisputed.
Jalen
Okay.
Ramsey,
All right, what's another corner? What's another corner? you guys
Xavier
like?
Howard.
Ooh. Anyone else that we would put above
What about my man?
Xavier Howard? Byron Jones?
Stephen Gilmore.
What about what's his face?
Gilmore.
The
It's
Jets.
Stephon.
What about the Jets to the Seattle Seahawks?
No.
Jamal Adams is a safety technically.
Yeah, we picking 2 safeties.
Oh, I thought we were just knocking out
Yeah, we're
cornerbacks
doing the
first.
corners now, though, Pete. So hold that name.
Yeah, let's
Oh,
knock out
all right.
cornerbacks. Knock out cornerbacks first,
All
just so
right,
we
all
get
right.
that done.
That's not what
I mean, AJ Terrell's the best corner in the league this year.
Trayvon Diggs. Trayvon
Trayvon
Diggs,
Diggs is
Dallas
the best
Cowboys.
cornerback this year.
No, he
Trayvon
is
Diggs,
not.
bro.
No, he is not.
No, in terms of
I didn't say
coverage,
he's the best.
Trayvon-
I didn't say he's the best, but he's up
Trayvon
there.
Diggs.
Trayvon
best
Diggs
corner
is
right
not
now.
a good Trayvon Diggs is the
Oh,
most
what-
overrated player in the NFL. You can
Why? 'Cause the ball's
my
finding him?
goodness.
He
the
has
ball's
the he
finding
gives
him?
no
There's
listen
nothing overrated
listen.
about 11
Yes,
picks.
110%. Yes, there is. It's because he's the most targeted person in the league. He gives up the most receiving yards out of any cornerback by a mile. It's not
He gets
even
burnt.
close.
Bro.
He gets burnt constantly. I keep throwing his way too if I burned him every game. That's why he gets those picks. I'm not saying he's not bad, but that interceptions number inflates his ratio so much to where we just overlook that. In PFF, you want to talk about PFF, he's ranked 90 out of the cornerback position. 90. That's not even close. It's because he gets burnt like toast, but we see him get a couple picks and we say, oh, this man's great. But that's not right.
There's been a lot of times where there's been blown coverages where it seemed like it was his fault, and he's still taking accountability, even though he's known it wasn't his fault. I forgot that one player who gave up the play, and then he managed to, and then Diggs wound up taking the rap for it. It's been that type of scenario all year in the Cowboys. There's times where he tries to do a lot more than he's supposed to do. He tries to do other people's job. But I wouldn't count that. I wouldn't hold that against him because at the end of the day, he's still shutting down one side of the field.
I wouldn't say shutting down. He's almost given up 1,000 receiving yards this year. Almost 1,000. He leads it by almost 200 yards. That's insane. That's insane. That's people that he is covering. That's on his ass. I don't think he should be even close. I don't think he should be even close to becoming mentioned on this list. I don't
How
know.
about Janoris Jenkins?
90?
If we're talking prime players.
Okay. Janoris Jenkins.
Dak Rabbit.
listen,
We could also say Joe Hayden.
dude, Terrell's only given up 23 catches for 150 yards. He has 3 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. Like,
guys mention the second best corner in the game, or am I tripping?
Who?
Kind of plays for Green Bay.
Jair Alexander?
Might
Yeah.
have missed the conversation, but I'm looking at
Yeah,
a
no,
list right now. Corners.
I
and
like
he's number
Jair
2 on the
too.
list.
I like Jair.
He's all right. Yep.
I like Jair. I think he's kind of fallen off a little bit here recently. I mean, not as to what he was before, but I mean, like how we said, we're going with the prime stuff here, man.
Like, I definitely don't think it's
Jalen Stephon.
Diggs has given up 900 yards this year.
He's almost about to have 1,000 yards given up. That's crazy.
But that's just this year. I mean, we talking about if you talking about players in the
His prime, he's only been in the league for 2 years.
He's only been, that's what I was going to say. Yeah, I was just going to say that.
Yeah.
So really,
I
anything
think
we say about
wasn't
Trayvon
Stephon
Diggs,
Gilmore Defensive Player of the Year?
if listen, anything we say about Trayvon Diggs, we're talking about this year in the interceptions. That's all you can really say.
Stephon Gilmore was
What about
Defensive
White?
Player of the Year.
And it's not impressive to me. It's not.
Marlon Humphrey.
Player of the Year is the cornerback.
I'm cool with leaving him off just because I don't like the
Marshawn
Cowboys.
Lattimore.
I mean, if we're gonna put someone on this list who gives up
Stephon
almost
Gilmore.
1,000 receiving yards in the season,
Denzel
I think we're doing a disservice.
TJ
Yeah, you're right.
Gave up 1,000 yards.
Marcus Peters.
That's insane. That's an insane stat.
James
About Roy.
Bradbury.
You said what? I don't know. Just Diggs. I'm not sold at all.
Oh,
on
you
him.
still on the dig.
Not sold at
Come on,
all.
we almost finished, guys. Fight through it. Fight through it.
Okay. All right. Let's go. So can we get it between? I heard you say James Bradbury. That's also a good one.
Yeah, so
Um,
I'll give you the 5 top on the list that I'm looking at. Jalen Ramsey, Alexander, Tre'Davious White,
Oh, we didn't even say
Diggs, the one you
Tre'Davious.
guys are just talking about, and then Marlon Humphrey.
Is that this year?
This is, I think, going into this year.
Yeah, that's just
I think
heading
Tre'Davious
into
White's a
this
good
year.
one.
Well, we talking about getting in their primes.
Yeah,
Not
so I would
who's
say
having the best
Jair.
season or who's going to have the best season.
Jair Alexander's quote unquote having a down year, and he's still one of the best cornerbacks.
I
in
think
the
Frank,
NFL.
repeat what you just said, because I kind of heard you, but then I counted in because you're a little low.
I don't know. I was listening to Roy. I slick forgot what I said.
You said about prime Jair
Oh
Alexander.
yeah, I'm saying. We're talking about guys like in their prime. I mean, not so much the guys that's just having a good season this year, right?
But Jair Alexander's doing both.
But who's been more consistently in their prime? In their prime, Stephen Gilmore was Defensive Player of the Year.
Stephon Gilmore is.
Who else on this list can say that?
Okay, so it's between Stephon Gilmore and Jair Alexander for cornerback, the last cornerback spot.
yeah, I like Gilmore. He's good, man.
I'll take Gilmore. I wouldn't be upset.
Consistently great. He's been a shutdown guy. Him and Revis when they were the good.
Okay, I'll take Stephon Gilmore.
Okay, nothing that.
All right, so we got our 2 cornerbacks.
Stephon Gilmore.
Cool.
Now
All right,
we
so
need
safeties.
Oh shit.
Safeties. I think we're really about to get into it now.
Tyrann Matthews.
Okay.
That's a
All
good
right.
one.
I'm
Honey
glad.
Badger. That's a
I
good
think
one.
I agree with you 100% on that. I do not, and look, I know you brought him up earlier, Pete. I do not want Jamal Adams on this team.
Oh no, hell no.
I don't think so. I
Yeah,
like-
I don't
I
like
don't
what he's
like
been
him.
doing with Seattle. Jets. Jamal Adams was a beast. Seattle, he slowed down a little bit.
Yeah,
More bite than bark. I mean, more
Yeah,
bark than bite.
100%. More Bart.
Yo, Uncle Frank, you're gonna like this one. How about Bayard?
Yes, sir. That was going to be
Kevin
my
Byard?
option. Kevin
Yeah,
Byard.
Kevin Byard's pretty good.
Absolutely.
Mm,
Still young. I probably consider this probably his prime year still, like 4 or
You
5
said the
years
first
in the
one,
league.
Tyrann Matthews, right?
yeah, Tyrann
5,
Matthew.
6, 3 picks. Led the league in picks as a
Ooh, I want to
safety.
see if you grab that dude. I ain't gonna even say the name.
Okay,
So,
other
other
safeties.
ones.
Minka Fitzpatrick.
Antoine Winfield.
Antoine Winfield.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Him and his dad were beasts.
What are you guys thinking?
Jimmy
do like
Ward,
Kevin
Marcus
Byard.
Williams. Harrison Smith, prime.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Harrison Smith. I spoke to Harrison.
Derwin Prime.
Okay, who you just said?
Oh, Buda Baker.
Derwin.
Oh yeah, Buda Baker. Yeah,
I get Buda
Yeah.
Baker.
Derwin James?
I think Buda Baker did.
yeah. I totally forgot about Buda.
That's who you said, GK Derwin James?
Mm-hmm.
That's the name I was looking for you guys to say.
I mean, I feel like
Buda Baker is the staple of a defense, man.
Yeah,
Wherever you
for
put, there's a
real.
reason he is the highest paid safety of all time,
Yeah.
and he's still young.
he had a much better year last year than this year, but
But I mean, but it's not a bad year. It's just not as good as the year before.
right.
Think of that secondary, Buda Baker and Tyrann Mathieu in their
Oh my
prime.
gosh, ball
Are you
hawks.
kidding? And they're coming down, filling, and
And
they're
also-
playing in the middle of the field.
Well, you
And
want one to
also
be a
not
hitter,
bad run
right?
support. And also not bad run support. Both these guys can do run
Yeah.
support as well.
Because if we're talking about, well, you need to compensate because Tyrann Mathieu is more of the ball hawk, right? So you need one that's more of like the
Buda Baker
bigger
can
enforcer.
yeah, a
They
run
both can be
support guy.
enforcers.
A run support guy. They both can be run support. They both have done it time and time again. More on
Mhm.
Buda Baker can be a better run support than Tyrann.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just more of his play, the Buda Baker's play style. He could do
mean,
both and doing both
honestly-
very well.
Honestly, if I'm narrowing it down, I still like give me Harrison Smith on his best year. Because he's
I don't
big.
know.
Like
I was thinking Harrison Smith until I thought of Buda Baker.
Yeah.
And if I had to pick out of those two guys,
because Buddha's like a smaller guy too, so that's
yeah,
why I
he
would,
has said that he can play. He can do.
He's not a
disguise himself in
pushover though, man. That's a
coverages.
tough son of a gun.
no, I'm just saying like, if I'm having two guys back there, I don't want two little guys. I want one little, one big. And if that's the case, then I'm going Tyrann and Harrison Smith.
They play big though. That's the thing about.
Yeah, but
those two
Harrison
type
Smith
of guys.
is big. He's
Play
6'2".
so rough.
Or Justin
Yeah.
Simmons even.
I think it's too
Now
early
to
to
the
tell.
last one, guys. Last name.
It's too early for Justin Simmons, I think.
Buda Baker.
Yeah, I mean,
I think
ultimately,
Buddha.
my vote's Harrison Smith ultimately.
Okay, I'll go with
I'll
Buda.
go Buda.
Buda. I like Buda.
All right. BK,
I'm surprised it took us so long to even say that
3-1.
name. I forgot about
Yeah,
it.
I forgot too. I'm surprised.
Hey, we don't
I'm
have a
disappointed.
linebacking core, but
They'll put me in the middle linebacker. Don't worry. I'm headhunting.
Next time we do the list, I'm gonna do every position. All right, and that's gonna be the full episode.
All right, yeah.
I ain't
Kickers,
I ain't
punters.
gonna hear none of y'all mouths. All right. All right?
Justin Tucker.
Niggas say we ain't got no right left tackles. We ain't got no left right tackles. We don't
Where's
got
my
no
kick
kick
returner?
returners, no punt
Yeah.
returners.
Where's my kick returner?
Cheerleaders,
But for
Yeah.
everybody
Waterboy.
that's listening on Spotify,
coaching staff.
the list is quarterback Tom Brady, running back Derrick Henry, wide receiver 1, Julio Jones, wide receiver 2, Antonio Brown, wide receiver 3, Devontae Adams, tight end is Travis Kelce. We just added that because I didn't think about a tight end, don't know why. Offensive line, Colts, defensive line, Tampa Bay, and then corners, we have Jalen Ramsey and Stephon Gilmore, and safeties, we have the Honey Badger and Buda Baker. All right.
That's
I
a
mean,
team
we can
that's
mix
not
this up
losing.
too. Maybe one time we can do like a fantasy team instead. You know what I mean?
Oh, no,
Another
the
time
next,
we
so
can
the next one we're going to do this is all time.
Yeah.
we
We're
can
going to
do
build
I
a
have a
21
list
and
for
0
that.
team of all time.
I prepared for the all-time one. I got you on
For
that.
real.
Probably would do that next episode. I'll probably get everything ready for next episode because it's not ready, but I'll do it because I have fun. I like listening to you guys like go back and forth. But yeah, that's the list, guys. And we got another list to get into. We got the NFL tier list, teams tier list, where we're gonna rank the NFL teams from untouchable to trash. I mean, I don't know how you guys feel about calling teams trash, but I'm okay with it. So I know Pete's
get
okay
it.
with it.
I mean, shit, they playing like trash. They playing like trash.
I'm gonna be brutally honest on this one. Y'all probably not gonna like me, but let's do it.
Certain
Yeah.
records,
Can
though.
y'all see it?
Tell the story.
Exactly.
Can y'all see it?
Yep.
All right. So for the people listening, we have a tier list on tiermaker.com. I found this last week. I have seen some other YouTubers, not sport YouTubers, but a lot of YouTubers do this. If you guys know who Optic Gaming is, they're a Call of Duty CBL team. They do this tier list on Tier Maker all the time. So now we're one of those tier maker people. So today we got teams. You know, we got Untouchable. You know, that's the team. It should be only 2 teams there. That's what I'm thinking. But this is you guys' list. I'm putting my mic on mute again. And so you're just gonna tell me where you want teams to go, and I'm gonna put them there. You guys discuss, and we're gonna start off with the Colts.
Okay, let's start it off right. I think they're going great.
Whoa.
Damn.
I think they're a great team.
Whoa. They are.
I think the Colts can scare some teams in the playoffs. I absolutely do. But it's between great and good.
Yeah, I can see
think they're
good.
good.
It has to be either 2 or 3.
Yeah, don't be surprised if you see the Colts in like the AFC Championship game, bro. Seriously,
Okay.
just don't be
I
surprised.
think good's
I'd be
good.
shocked.
You said good.
There's
Frank,
always
you said
that
good.
one team that makes it further, and then
And GK you said you don't care either. What you
You
want?
guys put too much stock into the Colts.
I think they
man.
belong in the second category, but
Great. So we have 2 great and 2 good.
I'll go
Because-
good.
because if
I
there's-
changed mine. We'll do good.
Okay. So 3,
well, if there's
2, 1.
5 tiers, that means like number 3 is like either barely making the playoffs or like, well, which I guess they are.
No, the top 3 tiers are the good teams that are going to be in the playoffs. We know that. The
Yeah.
bad and the trash teams ain't going to make the playoffs.
Okay, Atlanta Falcons trash. Trash.
Why? They might make the playoffs.
You get the trash teams out the way early. Can we
That don't mean nothing to me. You have an easy schedule. That don't mean nothing to me.
okay. So, but yeah, get them over with, bro. Throw the Texans down there.
Hold
Throw
on,
the
hold on.
Lions
Let's go
down
one
there.
team. Let's not do that. Let's go one team at a time. All right, for the viewers and
So
for
wait.
the listeners at home, let's go one team at
You
a time.
can't put a 7-win team with a 2-win team. How is that fair to put them in the same category?
Yeah, I wouldn't have called them trash, GK. I agree. I
All right,
All right,
we
so
can
we
go
got
bad.
one
We'll
trash.
call them trash.
So Roy said they're trash. GK, what
Roy
you got
said
them at?
trash and he threw them down there. I agree. They should be bad.
No, I didn't throw them down there. I'm just keeping it on the trash as my
Listen,
first vote.
listen.
They're not down there. This is them down there. You see, they white.
So in
When
other
they
words,
grade up, they're not down there. I'm just.
So
I'm
they
just
in the
waiting for you
garbage
guys.
bag. They in the garbage bag. You just didn't put them on the curb yet.
All right, look, they're on bad now. All right, they're not even in the garbage bag. They're in the
Listen,
garage.
you
All right,
have
I
to
them in
put-
the garage.
All in the trash.
The Lions and the Jags only have 2 wins.
I got
like-
2 trash. I got 2 trash from Roy.
And I would
I
take the
said
Lions
throw them
over
in the
the
trash.
Listen, the Lions and the Jags are on the bottom, so you got to be like, which teams are we going to put in the same level as the Lions and the Jags? And
He's
it's
right.
not
He's
the
right.
Falcons.
He's right. He's right.
I
I'm
still
sorry.
think
in
I'm
the
Falcons
the
tougher
play
division
anyone.
this year.
They
Can
don't
we
play
just-
anyone.
Can we do? Listen, I feel like the trash is not even
Let's go
debatable.
one
right?
team at a time, Pete. One at a time. We on the Falcons.
You
Let's
got to put the
get to
Falcons in the bed.
Okay, we can put them in bed. I'll
We can still go
compromise.
1 week.
3-1.
We can still go one team at a
Rams.
time. And just
Rams
pick
are
the
great.
trash teams first.
Rams are
Great.
great.
Good.
Somebody
Rams
said
are
good.
great.
I had 2 greats.
Yeah, all right, go ahead. Great. They better have. They won, so I'll give them great. They haven't lost
Saints.
the last one.
Saints. Who that gonna beat them Saints?
I wish
Bad.
there was like one in between that's like
Bad.
average. I'll put them in average. Good
Yeah.
or
It's got to
bad.
be the same as the Falcons. They have 7 wins as well.
Yeah,
bad.
Also being
The wins
decimated by
can't-
COVID.
The
for
wins don't tell
forever.
the story.
Record
Oh,
does not always tell the
Sometimes it
story.
doesn't. You're right, Frank. Sometimes it doesn't.
No, I agree.
I didn't give you
the
guys
Falcons
rules. I
is
let you
playing
guys
like a
just have
trash
at it.
team.
Yeah,
The
7
Lions is
wins
playing
between
like
the
a bad
Saints
team.
and 7 wins between the Falcons are 2 totally different.
You can't put. You come on. Even though we're going in order, we already know what teams are trash. So you can't put the Falcons and the Saints down there. You can't do that to them.
I'll put them in. I could say you can put them in bad.
Yeah, I agree.
Very unfortunate circumstances for them with all the injuries and
It has
COVID,
to be bad.
but they have to be
I
bad.
got
Yeah.
3 votes bad. Since it's
'Cause
4
they don't
versus
win.
4, which
Giants. Giants are
Giants,
trash.
we just
Giants
skipped
are
them.
trash.
Vikings.
Good. Good.
We're not gonna talk about why the Giants are trash. All right, cool.
No, we
Yeah, we'll put them in
skipped it.
good. We'll put them in good. We'll put them in
I
good.
got
Trash don't work. Trash ain't worth talking about.
Your trash ain't worth
True.
talking about. Lions.
Trash.
Cowboys.
Good.
Trash.
Good.
I hate the Cowboys, but
Yeah.
I'd say they're great.
No, good. I agree.
They're a
good.
great team.
I
I'd
got
say
2
you can
goods,
put them in
1
good.
great, 1 great. Frank, what you got?
The Cowboys.
Uh-huh.
You can go to somebody else. I'm still like.
Everybody else
Okay,
picked already.
this
I
is
think-
how I look at it. Look at-
Listen. You can't make a team great just because they play in the crappy NFC East. I'm sorry.
True.
That might be
True.
one
Can
of
I
the
just-
easy. All it takes is one good team in that division, and you win the division. We
Yes.
called Dallas Cowboys the winner of that division week 1 of the season. Okay, they played a horrible decision. Every team in that division you could almost call bad or trash, including the Eagles.
It's the worst
as far
division.
As I'm concerned,
Worst
as far as
division.
I'm concerned, they're good. They're good.
Yeah,
You put Dallas
exactly.
Cowboys in a few other divisions, they probably might not even make the playoffs.
No, exactly. That's so the way I look at it is, how can you put the Cowboys in a tier above the Colts and the Vikings? If they were to play tomorrow, would they be
They
like,
lose.
would they be favored by a touchdown? No, it would be probably pretty close. They'd probably be like
Right.
close to even money, or if anything, favored by maybe a field goal. So if it's that close, you got to put them in the same group.
And I hope they're favored because
All right.
I'd bet all day on the underdog and win all that money with the Colts beating them. Absolutely.
Yeah, you can't put them ahead of the Colts. Yeah, no,
All right, cool. You put them in good.
They're good.
they
That
got to be the
was a good,
same
I'm
the
sorry.
same tier as the Colts. Yeah.
Please, because you're playing the NFC East. Give me a break.
You put them in good.
I don't think there's one team that deserves to be on the untouchable list. I think you guys are being.
I
like,
can only think of
extra
one.
Extra
No,
Packers.
I got two.
Packers.
with
yeah.
some of these
Packers.
choices.
Packers and the Bucks. I would
You
put
think
in.
the
All right,
Packers-
let's go with the Cardinals though. We're at the Cardinals now. Let's just go with Cardinals. What y'all want?
The Cardinals are a good team.
Yeah,
Good
I think
team.
good.
Good
I
team.
think they're a good team.
They've taken it.
They're
They
gonna
were great and
continue
they
to
took
get
a step
better.
They
back.
took a step back. Yes.
They were
They're
great.
not
They
getting
took a
D
step
Hop
back.
back no time soon.
All right, so
The
good.
most they can get them back is the
Football
NFC
team's
Championship.
trash.
They're gonna be bad.
Washington,
Washington
trash?
is bad. Washington is bad. They're
You don't
not
think they're trash?
They're bad. They're bad. Come on. They just got practically eliminated from the until they played the
But-
Cowboys and got destroyed. They were a playoff team.
Okay, but then we can go back to your argument and say they're a playoff team because of their division. Because of that weak ass division they play in.
1, 2.
So listen, guys, there's 32 teams, right? So we're gonna have about 6
Yeah, but-
teams in each. Well, I guess we're only gonna have 2 in untouchable. Yeah, I mean, I guess I would
Listen.
consider Washington football team is fringe because they're clearly a million miles ahead of the Lions.
And not only that, you made a good point, Roy. But at the same time, right? Washington, I think they're a better team than the Saints and the Falcons. I would take Washington over the Saints and the Falcons
I take
with
them over
Tyler
the Falcons.
Heineke at quarterback.
I take them over the Falcons.
I like them in the fourth group. Too.
I got 2
All right,
bads.
so bad or trash?
Bad, absolutely.
Brady
Yeah, I
is
like
up
that.
there.
Can I just ask you guys something? Can I ask
Yeah.
you guys something? What is making you guys put the Rams in the great category? They haven't won they don't win the big games. They win the games that they're supposed to win.
Oh,
They
we're talking
don't
about
win the
right
big games.
now, not the big game like Super Bowl because it ain't there yet. We're talking about right now up into the season going.
No,
into
but I know what Frank is saying.
But what do
He's
you guys
saying that
stand
for a
on
while they haven't
great?
beat any good teams.
Because
For a while,
they
they had for a
Yeah, be-
long time, their only signature win was against Tampa, which I think was like week 3.
correct.
And then finally, a couple weeks ago, they pulled off a big win.
The
So,
only thing
and I
great
think that
about
was
them is
against
that
Arizona.
defense.
Mm-hmm.
Their offense is really
Kenny
good, though,
shows
man.
that he's
down
still the
after
Matt
you put them on
Stafford in
tiers,
the
if you
line.
guys redo it and feel like you need to move a team, you guys can, but it has to be collectively a 3,
Okay, Frank.
1 vote or an unanimous vote.
Here's my one question for Frank. You said, how can we call them great, right? Okay, maybe they could go good, right? But at the same time, aren't you taking the Rams over the 4 teams right now that you have in good, except for maybe the Colts?
Not taking them over the Cowboys.
I am.
I think they
What?
will meet up, and
I
I am
am.
not going to take them over the Cowboys.
I am.
Uncle
If the
Frank.
Cowboys can get, if the
I
Cowboys, the
am.
Cowboys can come into the playoffs healthy, I trust that offense against the Rams defense more than I trust, and then I trust the Cowboys defense more than I trust the Lions.
I trust
offense.
Sean
Absolutely.
McVay with my fucking family's life over fucking McCarthy with a fucking cockroach.
Yep.
Like, are you?
Yeah.
are you-
McVay is a great players coach. Is a great player coach, and he's shown that he has potential to be a great coach, a
I'm
really
mad they
really
got
great
the,
coach.
I'm mad they got the
But I'm
Washington
still just
Redskins
going off
number.
Sean McVay isn't playing on the field. He can call up the greatest plays. You look at how they played against the Tennessee Titans, and they were trash. And that's a symbol of what they're gonna look like when they play legit teams.
There's
And
only
so
one
if
team
you're
in
putting
that
the
good.
Cowboys, and they both got the same record. So what makes
There's-
that's crazy?
Listen, to me,
Cowboys
Frank,
gotta
there's
be
only
great.
one
If that's
team.
the case,
There's only one team that even has a defense close enough that can maybe slow the Rams down, and that's the Colts. And that's the Colts.
Michael
Any
Parsons
of them other
is
teams
a
can be scored
one-man
on.
wrecking crew. He's week after week we watch and we talk about how Mike Parsons impacts impacts that game, impacts the team, impacts that whole defense week after week after week. So you can't tell me that there's another outside of Aaron Donald. There's a scarier player on the defensive end in the NFC that's comparable to that.
Okay,
There's
so let me ask you,
about anybody
whose
else. And then they
offense do
got
you
the
like better
cornerback
though? Who's got the
back
better offense? Who's got the better offense? The Dallas Cowboys or the Rams?
there. The Cowboys by far.
By far have a better offense than the Rams?
They have a way better wide receiving core. They have a way better collective as a collective backfield. And I trust Dak Prescott way more than I trust Matthew Stafford.
Well, first of all,
guys
Ezekiel Elliott sucks this season. Cooper Kupp is the best wide receiver in football this season. I mean, come on. Stafford is killing it.
You're giving me players. Now we're going to talk about collective as a group. Now, whose receiving core are you taking?
Wait, Frank, you can't say don't get players. And a minute ago, all you named was Micah Parsons. You can't say don't name players and you just named Micah Parsons. That was the only name you gave.
I gave you Mike Parsons as a player comparable to a Aaron Donald.
Hey, listen, I think this is more of a case.
Back to the list.
He's making more of a case to move the Cowboys up than to move the Rams down. Like I don't.
That's what I'm saying. So if y'all not gonna move the Rams down, move the Cowboys up.
Honestly,
I'm okay with them moving up.
When the Cowboys lose in the first round of the playoffs, I don't want to hear nothing.
All right, do y'all want to keep them in good or move them up to great?
Well, it don't make a difference. They still one and done.
let's put some more teams down.
Yeah,
and then
we'll go back to it. We'll go back.
Yeah, we'll revisit it.
Washington's bad.
Washington football team.
Fourth tier.
Fourth tier, yes.
They're bad.
Make a case for the Lions being bad, man.
All right, when we're done putting all the hold on. Frank, I got you. Frank, I got you. Frank, I got you. Frank, I got you.
Still an L though.
At the end of the list, and you guys can make your arguments on what team should be moved. And if it takes a little longer than I expected, that's fine. I can cut a couple of topics at the end of it, but I'll give you guys time to talk about it because you guys are having fun and I'm enjoying this.
Okay.
Yeah, do you think?
The Jets,
trash.
Yep.
Bengals,
good.
They've been showing me a lot lately, Frank. Frank, they've been showing me a lot lately, man.
No.
Good.
The Bengals is good.
Troy, I got you. There's the tinker, not with the bad good. I was thinking good, great, man. But good is probably more fair. But the Bengals have looked really good lately, man. Just me.
Patriots are good.
Great. They got to be great.
Man, they're great. Yo, this is what I'm saying. The record doesn't tell the story. And I think you guys are just basically going.
Hey, listen. Okay, guess what? Are they better than Buffalo? Are they better than Buffalo? Are they better than Buffalo?
Are they better than Buffalo?
Because Buffalo just went in there and beat them.
They just whooped their ass.
They just whooped their ass on Sunday. Okay, and okay, come on.
Like I said, I'm not gonna be a prisoner of the moment, though. I'm not gonna act like I haven't seen the Bengals blow games that they were supposed to win.
There's a difference of being a prisoner of the moment and ignoring what just happened.
Mac Jones is a rookie quarterback with no wide receivers to throw the football to. That offense is not going far in the playoffs, okay? That is a defensive team that is well coached, and he has a very good offensive coordinator that can get Mac Jones through the season. But that is not a great team, man. I
don't think that's a great team. I think they're a good team.
That's not a great team.
I think they're a good team.
They've done more with what they have, but they're not a great team.
The same case with the Rams. They got an average to good offense, and then they're being held down by the defense.
What is average about the Rams offense? What is average about the Rams offense? I don't.
The production.
If you're comparing notable players, the Rams have way more notable players than New England does. That's not even a question.
Sorry, man.
So
and they got the Patriots ex-running back Sony Michel.
I think you have to put them in. You have to put them in 2 or 3, and then maybe we can change it based on how this plays out.
Okay, let's go to good. Let's put them in good for now, and then we can revisit at the end once we get everyone else.
Everybody agree?
Yeah. Put them in good, and then we'll revisit it.
All right.
Because
otherwise, y'all got them in 15 teams in good.
If y'all beat them, if they beat the Bills, y'all put them in great without any question.
Yeah,
I think it makes it a better conversation. Yes, I would say so.
Yeah, all right, Tennessee Titans, tighten up. Start it off, Frank. Where you Titans going, Frank?
Frank, be honest, Frank. Come on now.
Untouchable.
We're going to great, man. I'm going to
No, come on, Frank. Stop it, Frank.
Yeah, I'm
come
telling
on.
you.
With
They're
Derrick
good.
Henry, great. Without Derrick Henry, good.
They're good.
First of all, let me
They're
just
good, bro.
let me just throw this out there. We've got report that Derrick Henry can be back as early as week 18 against the
We
Texans.
don't know that though. We don't know
Just to
that.
knock off some of that rust.
But we don't know
That's
that.
been reported. It's been reported.
Well,
It's been
then guess
reported.
what? They're good.
That's why I'm
then.
breaking the news to you guys. But
They're
Got
good.
it here
then.
first. Not really, but
they have I almost said the Lakers. The Titans have bad to good talent, but they've been playing the play has been consistent all year. We're still at the top. We lost so many players on both sides of the ball, and we're still in the same position.
Okay,
and
Frank.
if we can get some help if one team beats the Chiefs, we go into the playoffs as the number 1 seed, and we get home
Let me
field
say one
advantage
thing to you,
with
Frank.
the bye. So then, so you can say what you want, but the production, everything,
Okay.
the production
You
says
just
otherwise.
okay. So ready for this? You want to put the Titans in great, and to describe your team, you just use the word good and bad. You want to put them in great, but to describe them just now, you use the words good and bad.
I think they go
Good
in
to bad talent because all of the new pieces that we've had to add week after
Then
week.
that makes
after
them a
week,
good or
all
bad
the guys
team.
that we have to. But the play has been great. No matter who we put on the field, I wouldn't say great. The overall outcome and
Didn't
of
y'all
our
lose to the
production has been
Jags
great.
and the Jets?
And
Didn't
the
you lose to the
Steelers.
Jags and the Jets?
And the Steelers.
With all depleted teams.
But the Steelers are at least decent. They lost to the Jags
We
and the
lost to
Jets,
those-
two trash
we
teams. You can't lose
lost
to
to
two
the
trash
Jets.
teams in one season. I'm sorry.
They're good. They're good.
To the Jets
Yeah,
with a
tier
depleted
3.
team at the beginning of the year.
It's
Tier 3.
unanimous. It's unanimous. All right,
Ah,
3-1.
It's not
3-1. It's
unanimous.
3-1. It's 3-1.
Yeah, it's 3-1.
Did they have
Alright.
Derrick Henry,
Buccaneers are
Frank?
great. Buccaneers are
Frank, did
great.
they have Derrick Henry?
I think the Bucks have to go in the
Great.
first tier.
We didn't have
Untouchable.
none of our wide receivers and our line on our offensive linemen, and we managed to lose by.
We'll go back to Tennessee. But
Untouchable.
Tampa
I'm fair
Bay
with that.
right
I'm
now.
cool with that.
Hear
Tampa
me
Bay.
I'll
out.
go untouchable.
I think they have to be in tier 1 because if you were any team and you're like, all right, what are like 3 or 4 teams that I absolutely do not want to see in the playoffs? Like the Bucks is one of them. Like, how are they not? You know?
I get what you're saying, but untouchable. I just think really with all these wide receiver injuries, that's going to hurt them a lot.
Well, just Godwin. Mike
Saying
Evans is coming
nobody
back.
belongs to be up there.
And Antonio Brown is back, and Gronk's probably going to be back.
And, yeah.
So, Frank, what I mean by untouchable is like the teams you think is Super Bowl bound. Like,
Okay,
it's a
untouchable.
stamp on it.
Untouchable.
That's what I mean.
They have
Frank.
to be.
Okay, untouchable.
Otherwise, it's going to be empty.
And ready for this though?
No, it won't.
Right? What team bounces back after a loss better than the Bucks do? Even when the Bucks take a loss, the next week they back on track usually all the time, man.
Untouchable.
They gotta play the
Show 'em some
Panthers.
respect. You put Brady on our list before. Come on, man.
They played the
They have a
Panthers.
bounce back week against the Panthers both times.
Where we putting them?
You have to put them in 1.
I'll put them in the untouchable.
I'll put them untouchable. We got to put somebody
Okay.
up there.
Frank, you got to get up in here, Frank. You let these guys make all the decisions.
I'm
He's still
telling
hurt
you,
over the Titans, man.
No.
He's still hurt over the Titans, man.
I'm more so hurt over the Cowboys than the Rams.
We'll get back to it.
That
No,
really
Frank,
grinds
Frank,
my
let it
gears.
go. Frank,
Nah,
just blow it out. Blow it out. We're going to get back to it. At the
We'll
end
get
of
back
all
to
right?
it,
They
Nah,
bro.
but
might
what I'm
move.
saying,
They might
overall-
move, Frank.
What I'm saying, overall, there isn't one clear-cut favorite for the Super Bowl. That's why I say there isn't.
I don't know, bro. I like the Packers all day.
On that.
I'm sorry.
Year after year, how many times have the Packers finished 13-3 and then they wind up not being in the big dance?
All right, let's go
Year
through this
after
list.
year.
That doesn't matter. That's irrelevant, though.
That's
Let's
irrelevant.
go. Let's go through this
Right
list.
now.
and we'll just
We're
go.
going to start with GK. GK, what do your Cleveland Browns deserve to go?
I would put them in tier 4.
What? Oh, like 4 bad?
Yeah.
That's
Oh, I just
shocking
meant
out of
4
you,
great.
GK.
I'm sorry. I was counting the other
I'm
direction. I'm
about to
sorry.
say GK. I'm about to say you put them in the great.
I say
Oh my
bad.
God.
Why y'all counting down to up?
I'm my gears.
They're great. They're good.
Started from the bottom.
Now we're here.
I put him in bad.
So I got 2 bad.
Yeah, I got bad, bro. All day. As long as his name is Baker Mayfield quarterbacking.
This Chargers team.
Yo, how do y'all have the Vikings as a good team, but now the Browns is just a bad team? They got the same record, and the Browns.
You
have a
said
defense.
yourself. Record doesn't tell the
What's
story.
the most important thing on the
Obviously, y'all
team is
not
the
holding that
quarterback.
accountable.
All right,
I trust Kirk Cousins
all the
over Baker
arguments. Let's
Mayfield
do
all
this.
day.
Let's do it this way. Hold all the arguments for teams that's already on the board till we finish the list.
Okay.
All right, let's just move
The
along,
Chargers.
get through it, Frank. And then Frank, you will have the floor to tell all of them three guys what you want to
You know
move
what
around.
really grinds my gears?
Yeah.
I got
All right,
it.
so we're going Chargers.
I think the easiest way to look at it is like, who
Chargers.
would you rather not play?
Chargers. Are we going good or great?
Good. After they just lost to the Texans this week, they're good.
All right, they're good.
100%
Lucky to
not
get that.
great. They
They're
do
good.
not even. There's no argument to be made to put them in great.
Yeah, they're good.
Yeah.
Frank,
No,
who you
I'm
putting
good.
them?
I almost want to put them in bad.
No, they're
Who's
a
that?
good team.
Chargers?
They're a good team.
Frank, who you
Yeah,
putting them, Frank?
they're young. That's the problem. That's
They're
the
a
problem.
good
I'm
team.
good.
Good?
But they're
All
good,
right.
man.
Bears.
The Chargers
Now,
have given up
the Bears.
411 points. That is ranked 31st in the NFL.
Yo,
Their defense is
They're
bad.
still a
I'm trying
good
to
team.
tell
Their
you.
offense makes up for it.
Their defense is bad. It is.
But they have a good.
Trash.
But they have. You don't know about the Chargers. That they have a good run defense.
I would actually say
It's
the
not
Bears
bad.
are bad,
Trash.
but I would say bad. But if y'all want to call them trash, I'm okay with that.
I'd say they're trash.
Two trash, one bad. GK, it's on you.
Call them trash. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, I feel like at this point right now, if you were to play them, they're an easy out. Like they're an easy win.
All right,
The
Buffalo
Bills.
Tell that to the
Great.
Seattle
Good.
Seahawks.
The
What?
Bears are great.
Well, the
not
Seahawks are
Bears
an easy
great.
win
The
right
Bills.
now too.
The
we
Bills
got
are
Buffalo
good,
Bills.
man.
All right, the Bills.
I think they good.
I think they're a great team.
I think they're great, bro.
Great
After
one.
what they did
with
to
no
GK's
Davion White.
Patriots,
I think
after what they
they're-
did to GK, I mean not GK, I'm sorry. After what they did to Frank's Patriots,
I think they're on the cusp of 2-3. So I wouldn't mind like leaving them in either one and then talking about it later.
Okay.
yeah.
All right, Eagles. Bad.
The Eagles might make the playoffs
yeah,
though.
Bad,
Oh yeah. Bad. Yeah.
bad. I like bad for
Frank?
them.
Leaving them bad.
Bad.
And in the NFC East for Washington, and Washington's
City.
bad. They got the same record.
Kansas City. Great.
You got the Bucks up there. You might as well put Kansas City up there.
Yes,
Great
I
or
agree,
untouchable?
Frank. Yes.
Untouchable,
8-game
yeah.
winning
Oh
streak.
really? I was gonna say they're on the
Travis
cusp
Kelce.
between good and great.
Oh no,
Ooh,
they've proven
the Chiefs?
themselves.
Both of
They're
those
back.
teams are.
They're back.
The Bucks
They're
and
back.
the Kansas City are both the same category.
The
For you guys
Broncos.
listening at
Deserve
home, I
to
will
be
tell you
top,
guys at the
man.
end what players are in what tier. I'm
Broncos
gonna
are
do it
bad.
before they change it, and then after they change it. All right. So now we got the Broncos.
Bad.
Bad.
This is.
Bad.
I'm borderline on these Broncos, man.
I heard
They got a
bad.
great defense, man.
But look at the other teams. Like
They're
they're
bad.
closer. They're closer to the teams in bad than they are to the teams in good. I feel like.
Yeah, I agree.
They're the most middle of the
They're not
pack
trash.
team in the
They're
league.
the most
I think they're
average
good.
team in the league.
So we got bad.
Packers won.
I'll say
Green
bad.
Bay.
That's fine.
Packers won. Thank you, GK.
Untouchable.
Right at the top.
Frank, they
One.
untouchable.
Untouchable.
Frank, they untouchable.
Oh no, that's untouchable. I mean, you put them up there. You might as well.
How not?
Frank,
Hell
over
no.
here rubbing his head like these.
I'll make it
Name
case
one
for-
team below them that's better than them. There's not one team below them that's
For
better than
later.
any of the teams at
We
the
will
top.
Make a case. We're gonna make a case for it later. I just
Bro,
want to get the
Just
list.
keep
of
in
They
them.
won
mind, the
80% of their
untouchables-
games so
the
far.
Untouchables. I should have just called them
They
Super Bowl
always
bound.
do
All right?
this.
These are the
I don't
teams
know-
that have the best
What?
chance to make the Super Bowl.
Three
Not a
losses.
guarantee,
Frank,
but
so-
the best teams to make it.
So are you telling me that you'd be more scared to play the Rams right now than the Packers? No. Are you more scared
No.
to play the Bills than the Packers? No. So get the fuck out of here.
Ah!
I didn't. I was like going in and out. All I literally heard was "get the fuck out of here."
No,
Heard
I
that,
said,
three
okay, hold
times.
on.
I'm like, "Get the fuck out of here." Okay, a little aggressive.
So I said, like,
That's so
If-
perfect, bro.
if you're trying to
Frank, what
advance
you
in the
didn't hear
playoffs-
was Frank, what you didn't hear was he told you to go wash your robe.
He said that shit belongs in
though.
trash tier.
Tighten
Oh,
up, baby.
damn.
Oh wait, baby, tighten up.
Now,
baby.
now since you
What'd you
said
say,
that, Pete,
GK?
now
No, I
since you
said
that, Pete,
I said like if you're talking about if you're a team and you're trying to get to the next round, like who's going to be like scarier to play, or who would you rather not play? Like I would rather not have to see the Packers. I would much rather see the Rams or the Bills or any of those other teams. Like I'm not trying to see the Packers. Like
The Packers are the new Colts. They are a great regular season team year after year after year after year. They get into the playoffs and they put up duds year after year. Wait, hold on a second.
They didn't put up a dud last year against Tampa Bay in the NFC Championship game. They didn't put up a dud in that game.
So, but let me ask you. So if you're going into round 1 or 2 of the playoffs and you're like
Lambeau,
okay, but if you're trying to move on to the next round of the playoffs and you're like, I could either play the Bills, Rams, or the Packers, you're gonna pick the Packers?
You said the Bills, Rams, or the Packers?
That's what I'm saying. Like obviously they're in different conferences, but I'm saying
if I'm a team, I'm more terrified of playing the Rams defense than I am of playing of the Packers offense in the playoffs. You
gotta play the whole team.
I'm more
you gotta play Aaron Rodgers though.
Aaron Rodgers isn't Aaron Rodgers in the playoffs. That's what I'm trying to. You guys are giving him too much credit, and you're being prisoner of the moment. We've seen this story from Aaron Rodgers year after year after year. When he was the MVP, he only threw 4 interceptions. We saw this. He's going to get into the playoffs, and he's going to put up the dub. And then
the only reason why they lost to Tampa Bay last season, the only reason why they lost to Tampa Bay, the only reason why they lost to Tampa Bay in the NFC Championship game last season was because the coach didn't let him go for it on 4th down.
And Bakhtiari was out.
Was scared and didn't run to the end zone, and he tried to throw a bullshit pass in the red zone. Come on, let's tell the real story.
Oh, whoa.
Okay, let's tell the real story about how
I'll let you guys have your 5 minutes. I'll let you guys have your 5 minutes. Let's get back on track. We almost done. We got
Las Vegas.
About 9 teams left. No,
Las Vegas.
We got the Raiders.
Bad.
I would say
border. They're average.
Good.
They're average, but I think they're more on the bad
the
side.
same level as the
they're good or bad. Good or bad.
They're so bad in the trenches.
Bad.
I got 2 bads. I got 1 good. Frank, what you got?
Bad.
Bad. All right, bad. They go.
Okay, can I ask one question? Let me just say one thing. Ready for this? I think the Raiders are better than every team that's in that bad group, though. Even if they belong there, they're better than every team in that bad group.
Where did my Ravens go? Put my Ravens back. I got you, Pete. Right now. You said they better than all the teams in this row?
In that row, yes.
And they go to the front.
Wait, so you think
this is where it gets them?
No.
So out of all the teams in that group, you think the Raiders would be the hardest ones to
the Eagles
and the Eagles can be up there too
on those divisions on that row.
But wait. So you think the Raiders are the hardest team to beat in tier 4?
I would say Browns is probably.
I would say Cleveland.
Them and the Eagles. Cleveland. I'm not sold on it. I'm sorry, man.
Defense though. That defense got
that defense will win games.
Cleveland's not an easy out.
Yeah, no. At any point, that defense can control the game.
They are if they can't score points.
I feel like the Raiders are kind of an easy out.
Hey, look, we just had Pete. That's not true because we just had the Saints beat the Bucks, if I'm not mistaken, 9-0.
Yeah.
Who scored points in that game?
Yep. The same team that I got on at the number 1.
So you got to think about
but
that.
I wasn't talking about one game. I'm just saying overall, I don't think their offense is that strong enough to get through. You talking about one game?
I'm
talking about a bunch of games to make the playoffs and do well in the playoffs.
All right, but we got the Ravens. We're almost done. We got like 8 more.
Ravens are a good team.
Good team, yeah, I agree.
Not lately, but okay.
I got 2 good.
Lamar's hurt, so I would put them at bad.
Yeah,
they didn't play bad to their credit.
Without their people, they didn't
play good. They played very good.
I'm hearing some recency bias, Frank, because they said because Lamar is out, they're playing bad.
It does not make
them
good. Look, that's what it's been going on.
It does not tell the whole
time,
story for the whole season. I'm not going to let y'all slide with putting them bad. This is going to be one time break. I'm going to break.
That's what I'm saying, man. Y'all can't be.
We got Steelers.
Yeah, but I'd rather play the Ravens than the Eagles or the Browns. Like right now.
We're gonna start. We're gonna start the Steelers off.
I'm going with Roy. Wherever Roy put these Steelers, that's where I'm going.
Untouchable. Put them to the top. No, fuck that. Fuck that. They're going to bad.
Reverse Uno, nigga. They're going straight to trash.
It's a bad team. It's a bad team.
I got 2 bads. Frank, you said you're going with Roy bad. GK.
It's a bad team.
Yeah, tier 4 is appropriate.
All right, Tennessee Titans.
Trash. Yeah.
Good win against the Chargers, but they're still trash.
This Dolphins team.
Good.
Be careful with this.
Dolphins. Say about the Houston Texans.
Dolphins have to be good or great.
Titans.
They're not great. They're not great.
They're not
They
great.
started the season
No.
1-7. They cannot be great.
They're on a 7-game win streak.
Exactly.
But they're still
That's
not
why I put
great,
them in
GK.
good. But I put them in good.
They're good.
I
They're
put them in
good.
good.
They're good.
Not great.
Frank, you had something to
If
say
we're
on the
talking about a
Texans? I
team
won't
you
let
don't
get that
want to
off.
play right now,
Hold on, GK. GK, hold on. Frank, what did you want to say about the Texans?
That was me, I
You
think.
initially said Titans, or somebody said Titans instead of Texans.
So you want the correct? Go ahead, GK. Finish what you were saying.
the Dolphins are kind of a scary team to play right now.
Yes.
Mhm.
Like, I would definitely rather play any of the teams in good than play the Dolphins. Like,
I'm gonna put them in bad until they beat us.
You'd rather play. They won 7 in a row, but they're not doing nothing in the playoffs.
They're
That's what I'm
hot,
saying. Look
though.
at the seven,
Yeah,
look at the
no,
7 games that they won and the guys that they beat. So
Yeah, look
I'm
at
not
who they
putting too much
beat.
into that.
Look at who they beat.
As hard as I am on the Dallas Cowboys, I do think the Dallas Cowboys are way better than freaking the Miami Dolphins.
I would just put them in good because they have won 7 straight. But they started.
Yeah,
you cannot say a
absolutely.
team
That's
is
fair.
great. A team that started 1-7 is not great.
Right? You can't
Yeah,
ignore.
but we're
the
talking
fact that they
about
won
right
7 in a
now.
row.
Exactly.
Talking
Like,
about
are they
Exactly.
great right now? So,
totality.
like,
This is the
As a
season.
totality, the
This is
whole
their
season
season.
up to
This is
point.
their
Okay, so ready
season.
for
right
this?
now.
I got one question for GK. Right? If the Kansas City Chiefs are on an 8-game winning streak right now, right, and the Miami Dolphins are on a 7-game winning streak right now, you might as well say it's pretty much 7-7 or 8-8. It really don't make a difference, right? They both have very long winning streaks and are the longest winning streaks in football right now. You're not putting Miami nowhere near the Buccaneers. So how can we call them great?
you mean the Chiefs? The Chiefs
Yeah, go
are
ahead.
much.
I'm sorry, I said the Chiefs. I meant the Chiefs. I'm sorry, not the Buccaneers, the Chiefs.
Yeah, no, I agree. The Chiefs are much scarier to play. Okay. So
They're both on really long winning streaks, but you wouldn't put them nowhere near the Chiefs.
I think
I'm not saying 7 wins in a row should be ignored because it shouldn't be, but they're not great and they're not untouchable.
They're a good team.
Yeah, I think you have to put them in good because I think they would be the favorite. If they played any of the teams in tier 4, I think the Dolphins are the favorite. It'd probably go back and forth with teams in good, and they'd probably be the underdog to any of the teams in 1 and 2. So,
Wait. You guys are confusing me when you say tier 4 and stuff like that. Are we counting from top to bottom? What are we saying here?
why would
Yeah,
you
top
not
to
count from
bottom.
top to bottom?
Top to
Top to bottom should be
Yeah.
1, right?
Yeah, top should be 1, of course.
Top is
Yeah,
one and
okay.
then
So
down,
yes, they would
1
be
to 5.
favored over all of the bad teams. Got it. Okay, cool. All right.
So we put Dolphins in good. I heard 2
Yes,
good,
yes,
1 bad.
yes.
Good.
Okay, Jaguars.
Bad. Trash. I mean trash. Sorry.
No contest of them being trash.
Seahawks.
Trash.
bad.
Seahawks are a bad team.
Trash.
Trash,
They've been
I got
trash.
3 trashes, 2 bads, 2 trash. What happened?
trash.
I said
The
I said
Browns is
bad, but I don't
trash.
mind
The
trash. Go
Steelers
right
are
ahead.
trash.
Put 'em
Okay,
there.
trash. All right, that works.
All
That
right.
works.
Put 'em there. No
Carolina's
problem.
Like,
trash.
would you not consider the Seahawks an easy out right now? I would.
No,
Trash.
Carolina's trash. No
Carolina's
quarterback.
trash.
No quarterback. They lost 6 straight. Put them in trash.
DK trash.
Yeah, I would consider Carolina
trash?
easy out. Easy out.
Trash Frank.
Yeah.
Frank said, I'm just waiting to the end. Frank, like, I'm
No,
just
no,
gonna
I
wait to
said
the
I
end.
said trash first.
All right, San Francisco 49ers.
Good.
I struggle with this one. I'm not gonna lie to
It's
you.
either got to be 3 or 4. It's either got to be
It's good or bad. It's good or bad, right?
Yeah, I don't think we're
Well,
disagreeing
Jimmy
on that.
G's out, so I go bad.
Yeah, but he just got out this week.
I don't think that can be the
Done.
reason
He's
for
done.
you to do.
So like if I'm going into this
Trey
Sunday and
Lance.
I have to face the 49ers, I'm like, let's fucking go. I'm fully confident facing
Hey,
the
that
49ers.
Trey Lance ain't a pushover, man. I don't know.
Well, I don't think Trey Lance has done anything yet, but
He hasn't, but I'm not
Apples
saying
and
he's
the
not. It's not a
Niners
Blake.
on the
It's not like
same
you're putting
boat.
Blake Bortles back there or something like that. It's someone who actually
And they
do
still have a
something.
really
You can put him
good
in bad.
defense, bro.
You can put him in bad, but I think they're
I
borderline.
would
on
say it
that.
is close, but they belong in tier 4.
Okay, that's fair enough.
So
I think
bad,
they're well
going
coached.
bad, everybody bad.
Yep.
so in other words, GK, you saying if Garoppolo was healthy, you'd be okay with good.
Yeah.
Okay.
They
That's
did
fair.
beat the. They
All
did
right,
beat the
so
Rams.
now for you guys on listening platforms, Spotify, Apple Music, Google, these are the tier lists before we change them. All right. So we got in untouchable, we got the Bucks, Kansas City, Green Bay. I think they all from the same damn conference, ain't they?
No.
Then we got great. We got Rams and Bills. Good. We got Colts, Vikings, Cowboys, Arizona, Bengals, Patriots, Titans, Chargers, Ravens, Dolphins. And bad, we got Browns, which is a shocker to me. Eagles, Raiders, Falcons, Saints, Washington football team, the Broncos, the Steelers, 49ers, and then in trash, we have Giants, Jets, Lions, Browns, Texans, Jaguars, Seahawks, Carolina. So kicking it to Frank now, because I know Frank has the most to say here. Starting on the top of the untouchable list, Frank. Anybody that don't belong there?
None of them.
None of them.
Yeah. Frank, you got a lot to say about this one.
Otherwise,
Frank, listen, Frank has a lot to say about this, and I think everybody else probably has more to say than I do. So I'm just going to go real quick. I ain't got nothing to say about changing anything. You guys can have the floor, but all I'm going to say is the top 5 teams in untouchable and great, I don't think need to be played with at all. I think they're perfectly right where they should be. And the floor is yours.
Agreed. He said it for me. I don't need to speak. He already got me.
The top 5 is exactly what it should be.
I guess what we're doing right now is, Frank, you the one that want the most movement. These 3 guys, GK, Roy, and Pete, actually agreed through the whole thing. So I think it's on you to change their mind, man.
Yeah, convince me.
I mean, I'm not. Look, it's clear that you all are either prisoners
Don't say all.
of the moment. Nah, majority. Well, whoever
was
Roy,
involved with the
mainly.
list.
Pete and Roy and Roy mainly.
I mean, if you watch
So
football every
prisoners-
week, how can you not say that those are not the 5 best teams in football right now?
There's a difference between being a prisoner of the moment and not ignoring what the fuck just happened.
And the eye test.
I have to say this.
All right, hold on, DK. Before you go, G, before you go, let Frank finish what he's saying.
Go ahead.
Well, no,
go
I
ahead.
just
I hear you.
Frank,
Go ahead, G.
no, I want to say, like, we have 5 tiers here, right?
Mhm.
So, regardless that the name of tier 1 is untouchable, like, I feel like you're being a prisoner of that. Like, we have to have some teams in tier 1, otherwise we wouldn't have 5 tiers anymore.
I could change it to the Super Bowl if that would help.
Yeah, that's fine. It's just the wording of
Like,
it.
like
The
it could be
wording
like
of
Super Bowl
untouchable.
contender or whatever.
But that's a
Like-
good point that GK made, because it's like, Frank, you say nobody belongs up there. So we're leaving the top 2 empty? No, I'm sorry. We're just going to leave it empty, but we're going to put the Titans and the Cowboys up there and leave everybody off.
When I initially was a prisoner of the Untouchables title,
Yes.
but then
I get that.
but then I stepped outside of myself. You feel me? And then I just
Like
based
Super
it
Bowl
off
contenders.
of I based the top row off of who you guys consider clear-cut favorites to the Super Bowl. Wanted to
So,
put-
but would you say, like, if we had to have 3 teams, those would be the 3, right? Like,
I would say those are the 3.
Hands down.
All right, so Frank, let me ask you a
but you
question.
guys are picking those. You guys are picking those 3 teams. You guys are picking those 3 teams because they're the sexier names, and you guys are being a prisoner of the moment. I'm trying to tell you. The Packers have been.
Frank, the moment is this season. You say prisoner of the moment. The moment is this season. We're
All right, guys.
prisoner of this
All right,
season.
All right, hold on. I want to hear what Frank has to say. So stop cutting Frank off. I'm gonna
In
start
this
muting people.
season, no respect. No,
because I want you to get it off. I
it.
want you to get off because I think you're going somewhere, and then we can have a conversation collectively about it. So I want you to finish off without everybody butting in and trying to ask you more questions on top of what you're saying, so people can understand what you're fully trying to say and not half of it. So let's give them a chance.
Great job, Troy.
So, when it comes to the Green Bay Packers, let's start there. One, they've benefited from a completely trash. You can probably say they're they're in the running for one of the worst divisions in that league. I mean, in the league, with them only having one team that's over 500 in that whole division, and they have the team with the worst record in the NFL in that division. That's just number one. So the great Aaron Rodgers has benefited from that. And then his last game, he just almost threw a dud in that last game, and he got saved by horrible offense. I forgot. Wasn't it against the Browns? Was it?
Yeah, it was the
last
Browns.
game. The last
Yeah,
game.
it was the Browns
because
2-point game.
because of Bad Baker. Bad Baker is the only reason why his record is what it is right now. And then I'm telling you, you guys are going to see that this Green Bay Packers team. There's nothing scary about this Green Bay Packers team. You can say Aaron Rodgers is playing great. Aaron Rodgers plays great every single year. Every single year, Aaron Rodgers can be an MVP or in the MVP category every single year. That doesn't change. That there's a clear lack of production when it comes to the playoffs. Just dealing with that team, with that team in general. Now, when you look
You
at
gotta-
when you look at the Bucks, now when I go to the Bucks, with all of the injuries that's going on in the league, it's impossible to say that the Bucks, even with Tom Brady, that the Bucks are a clear-cut favorite to win the Super Bowl. And he just gave up. He just couldn't score a touchdown on the Saints, who's not going to make the playoffs. So and who had a hurt Tyson Hill at quarterback. So that there's nothing terrifying. They don't have all of their options at wide receiver. They're going to get some of those guys back, but then you're going to have to see how those guys play down the road. As good as even though AB came back and he had a decent game with the catches that he made, they haven't shown you anything that they can't stop when you get to the playoffs. And the Kansas City Chiefs just got on their run. And if you look at their past game history, the hardest team that they played was a depleted Cowboys team. That was their best game. And then they just happened to play one of the most emotionally depleted teams, I would say, in the Pittsburgh Steelers. Just because all of the stuff that they got going on over there and the inconsistent play that they've got going on the offensive end, which is starting to leak over to the defensive end. So there's nothing
Okay.
terrifying. Granted, the offense has looked like it's been catching strides, but that's just prisoner of the. I'm not going to be a prisoner of the moment because Patrick Mahomes still makes mistakes. He's still taking those chances. It just hasn't caught up to him yet. And it's going to catch up to all of those guys. None of those guys are a clear-cut favorite. If those guys run across the right team, this playoff year is going to come up to matchups. That's going to be the biggest deal. It's all about matchups. Certain teams match up great with certain players. I think the Titans, a healthy Titan team, if they run across the Kansas City Chiefs, they have everything. They've shown it in the playoffs that they can beat Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs team, especially with that type of defense. And as good as the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are, and as good as their defense always seems to gel in the right moment, it's a totally different year, and it's a totally different circumstances around the league surrounding them. So I don't think that there's any clear-cut favorite. But if you wanted to put those guys up there just based off their record, you can put them up there. But I'm going off the play and what they're putting on the field.
Okay, can I just jump in here
Yeah,
real
now
quick?
you guys could have the floor back. I just wanted Frank to
All
get
right,
off.
so real quick, right? When it comes to Kansas City, you made a statement. You said they just started playing good. As far as I'm concerned, 8 wins in a row. That's 2 months of good football.
There's a whole half a season.
That's 4 weeks in a month. It's half of a season. How can we sit here and say they just started playing good, GK, right?
Mm-hmm.
8 wins in a row is 2 months of good football.
Talk to him.
Okay. And then when you say
Break
Green
down the
Bay,
guys that
right?
they played.
Your biggest argument about Green Bay.
Wins.
Hold on, Frank. Hold on. Your biggest argument about Green Bay can't be always what they did in the playoffs last year, what they did on playoffs last year. And then you say a prisoner of the moment. The moment is this season. We have to be a prisoner of this moment. I'm not going by what they did last year. That's like saying, oh, the Bengals ain't going to be good this year because they sucked the last 5 seasons. What did they do the last 5 seasons? Who cares what Green Bay did in the playoffs last year, whether it was a coach's mistake, whether Aaron Rodgers has an MVP season and they only play good in the regular season or whatever. You cannot deny that Green Bay has been a good team this season. Now, yes, I get it. Their division ain't great. Minnesota's the best team in their division other than Green Bay. I get it. Detroit, Chicago, horrible.
Great team.
That's
in the
why they're in the
regular
trash
season.
box down low. That's why they're in the trash box down low. So I totally understand that. But I mean, come on. The thing you said about Kansas City, like GK just said, that's a whole half a season. How can you say they're just now playing good? And as far as Tampa Bay's concerned, I feel like, come on. Yes, they lost Godwin, but with Antonio Brown coming back in perfect time, with Godwin being out with the injury, we just put Antonio Brown on our top list of wide receivers.
The prior games that he was winning wasn't because of Patrick Mahomes. It was because of their defense. He was still throwing picks. He was still putting them in positions that could have costed them the game. It just so happened that their matchups that they weren't doing this against great talent, against the top tier teams. Now, if you look at the Kansas City Chiefs, if they have a resume of beating the teams that, and I don't want to be biased because it's my team, but if the Kansas City Chiefs had the resume of beating the teams that the Tennessee Titans beat this year, then I would lean more towards your side because they've beaten 7 out of the 9 teams that we've just beaten this year were all in the playoffs last year.
What would you say if they lost to the Jets and
what
would you say if they lost to the Jets and the Jaguars like the Titans did?
Depleted teams. I mean, I'm not making excuses for the Titans. I'm not. This is not about the Titans. I don't want to make a case for the Titans. I don't want to make it seem like I'm making a case for the Titans to be at the top list because I don't think that they deserve to be on the top list. I agree that if you had to put 3 teams at the top as a tier 1 team, it would be those 3 teams. And saying that, I'm still saying that there are no clear-cut favorites to the Super Bowl. That's my whole point about the top tier. You can put them on top tier, but none of them are clear-cut favorites.
So Frank, if you had your money,
starting with the Green Bay Packers, I'm not putting no money on Green Bay Packers in the playoffs. I'm not putting no stock into the Green Bay Packers in the playoffs.
If your life depended on it, okay, or your money depended on it, I can't see you picking a different team than the 5 that you got up there. If you're gonna be made broke, if your life is dependent on it, come on, man, save your life, save your pockets.
If the Buffalo Bills lose to the Patriots, you guys will be ready to put them in the bad category. That's what I'm saying. You guys are being prisoners of the moment because one win 1 week changes everything in you guys' mind. And you can't just automatically just be ready to put these guys on these levels, on these top tier levels, or just off a week by week. You have to take into account of what they're doing, what they've been doing the whole season up until that point.
Why?
You hear me?
Can I go? I feel like you're being a prisoner of history. like I think
I would rather be a prisoner of history than the moment.
Why? But the moment's what counts now. Like they're going to be playing in the moment. They're not going to be playing 16 weeks ago. They're not playing last year.
Before it's a repetitive history with the Green Bay Packers. You've seen it year after year after year.
I think the point is the whole season is what gets them to the point of being to the playoffs. So when you're talking about rating teams and tiers, you have to take the totality of the season and what they have done. Like Pete just said, the Tennessee Titans lost to the Jags and the Jets or whoever the other 2 teams is.
Yeah.
If they didn't lose to them, maybe Tennessee will be higher on this list. That happened earlier in the season. Frank took that into consideration when he was ranking his own team. He took that in consideration. You guys didn't take that into consideration with the other teams, and that's what Frank is saying.
The Titans are number 1. Are you putting the Titans now at the untouchable? The Titans deserve to be an untouchable? If the Kansas City Chiefs lose and the Titans win and then we go into the playoffs as the number 1 seed, do you still think that we can deserve to be untouchable? I don't.
No.
Listen,
that's what I'm saying.
So hold on. Can you put the list back on the screen real quick?
I got you.
I'd still take Kansas City because Kansas City is a better team.
You're taking Kansas City because of Patrick Mahomes.
There's a reason
they're not. We beat Kansas City already. That's history. History shows you.
I have a couple things to say right now. A couple things.
Let me hear you, GK.
So, if you were a bookie and the Titans played any of those 5 teams, would the Titans be getting minus points? If you were the bookie and you had to make the spread, are you going to be like Titans -7 against any of them? No.
Titans would not be favored in any of those games.
In any of them, exactly. So, but as far as the tiers go, like for tier 1, are there any of the other 29 teams that you'd put above them, above those 3? No. Would
Frank,
you
do you have anybody you would put above those 3?
So this is what I'm saying, bro.
You wouldn't put none of them there.
Bro, the Titans could easily be up there, bro. The Titans could easily be up there.
Yeah, they could, but they're not. They could, but they're not.
All right, so as the season goes on, so this is what I'm saying. But we can speak. That's a high hypothetical, right? So if the Kansas City Chiefs, if they lose one more game, and the Titans win out, and then let's just say the Kansas City Chiefs go 1-1 and the Titans go 2-0. The Titans now are the number one seed. Are you going to say that they now are a legit tier 1 team.
So wait, who do the Titans have the next 2 weeks?
Dolphins and the Texans.
Yep.
Oh, that don't
Miami
mean
and the
that don't mean
Texans.
I
shit.
mean, that's not really going to affect their. I mean,
You
it'll
lost to
definitely-
bad teams already this season. Why can't you lose to the Texans?
It'll definitely help, like whatever. But
Great team too. We beat the playoffs. We beaten 3 of those 5 teams. How do you guys have the Buffalo Bills above the Titans and they beat 3 of those 5 teams?
Okay, but if
About right
okay,
now.
All right, so I can
So-
tell you from the beginning of the season, Arizona beat Tennessee, Tennessee beat the Seahawks, Tennessee beat Indy, Tennessee, the Jets beat Tennessee, Tennessee beat Jacksonville, Tennessee beat Buffalo, Tennessee beat Kansas City, 27-3, by the way. Tennessee then beat Indy again. They beat the Rams. They beat New Orleans. Houston beat them, and then
Okay.
New Orleans
and
is
then,
terrible,
New-
Frank. Stop.
New Orleans beat them, and then Tennessee beat
Teams
Jacksonville.
that shut out Tom
Pittsburgh
Brady,
lost to
right?
Pittsburgh.
Another tier 1
Beat
team.
San
Frank.
Francisco, who's still in the hunt for a playoff spot, and now they
That's
have
what are we talking
Miami
about?
and Tennessee left.
Y'all
listen.
falling in love with those top teams because they got the sexier names, but the production is not matching. The production would say
okay.
otherwise.
So listen. So if the Titans played any of those, if the Titans played the Bills tomorrow, and you wanted to bet me $100, would you give me a touchdown?
But I give you a touchdown.
I got a quick question.
Absolutely
Does
not.
Green Bay last 2 games matter?
Not really.
Would
Matter.
you like to know who they play?
Yes, they matter.
No,
They play one
That's what I'm saying.
team that can make the playoffs and one team that is nowhere near close to making the playoffs. They
And
play
then
the
Okay.
they
Vikings next
barely
Sunday,
beat that
and then they
one
play the
team.
Lions.
Uncle Frank, if the
Barely
Cowboys
beat
and,
that one team. What are we
Win's a
talking
win.
about?
Doesn't
They're
matter if you win.
clear-cut but
Doesn't matter if you
they're
win
not
by
winning
1 or
like-
100.
They're not winning like
What about-
clear-cut
what about
favorites.
Kansas
They
City
haven't
last
shown
2
you
games?
anything to make them a
Do they
clear-cut
count?
favorite.
if the Cowboys played the Titans tomorrow, who would be the favorite?
Because of the sexier name, the Titans, the
If
Titans are constantly
if the
underdogs
Colts
because we
played
don't
the
have the
Titans
sexier
tomorrow,
name.
if the Colts played the Titans tomorrow, who would be the favorite?
The Colts, they were favored at home when they beat us, when we beat them. What are we talking about?
Okay, so
Right,
leave
exactly.
Exactly. So
What's
you're
your
making my
definition
point,
of-
bro. Like we're
Oh.
we're saying who's more likely to win. Like we're making the tiers on which teams
What
would be
is the
more likely
definition
to
of a
win.
sexy name? That's
But
what I
I'm
want to know.
saying-
You've been saying a sexy name talk. What is the definition of a sexy name? You call these teams sexy names.
Having guys like Tom Brady, like like Roy said, having teams with big name players on them. The Rams have big name players on offense and on defense. The Buffalo Bills have a big name player on offense. The Green Bay Packers have big name players on offense as the top 5 teams. But that team, and which is why I think the Cowboys deserve to be in the great category. If you don't
Okay.
put the Buffalo Bills up there,
Uncle Frank, I agree with you. I actually was gonna say I think we should move the Colts and the Cowboys up, but I would just think in terms of the Titans,
good.
if in terms of the Titans, like if you put them against any of those other teams and you say like, all right, what's the percent probability the Titans are going to win? It's never over 50%. So if that's the case, you can't put them ahead.
And how about this, Frank?
The Rams can literally go 11-6. They have Baltimore and then they have San Fran. They could lose both of those games.
Well, how about this, right? Frank, you took a dump all over Green Bay, right? And you said it was their division. How can you not do that with Dallas? Answer that one for me. Dallas is in another weak division. You said Green Bay has got Chicago and they got Detroit and Minnesota, right? Okay, well, what about Dallas? You all about Dallas. They in a
The
terrible
Eagles are over
division.
500, right? Aren't the Eagles
What's
over
that?
500? Aren't the Eagles over
It's a
500?
terrible division, Frank. Green Bay, Dallas was picked to win that division after week
that was
1.
my point. That was my point in bringing up that division. The Green Bay Packers are one of 2 teams in the league that only has one team over 500.
Yeah, but there's still a tier 1 team.
I got a problem.
Because of Aaron Rodgers, because Aaron Rodgers is the sexier name.
But he's good, though. He's a sexy name for a reason.
Listen, the bookies have
And
the
the regular
Packers the
season.
second most likely team to win the Super Bowl right now.
And like that every year. They're favored like that every
Okay,
single
so-
year. But like I said,
Troy.
history shows you otherwise.
Troy, this is a list of what these
History's
teams
meaningless.
are right now, correct?
Up until this point, from the beginning of the season up until this point, I said it like 3 times.
Okay,
while you
so
guys
then-
were
so
doing
then-
this.
Lower than the Bills. What are we
So then if we're talking
Wait,
about
hold on,
right
hold on.
now,
I want to say something because Cincinnati holds the tiebreaker over Buffalo. So shouldn't Cincinnati be in the great and Buffalo be in the good?
I'm saying, yo, this list is crazy.
Listen,
started today.
Okay, listen. Like the Bills are 8-1 to win the Super Bowl. The Titans are fucking 16-1 to win the Super Bowl.
The Bills might not even make the playoffs, though.
The Bills could not even make the playoffs.
Half of these AFC
might
teams
even
are
have
not.
the playoffs.
Whoa, we
to
can't say
make the
that.
playoffs.
We can't say
What are
that.
you
We cannot
saying?
say anything about the AFC because half the AFC right now cannot make playoffs or could miss
Right.
playoffs because the AFC is so
Right.
competitive. We cannot say that.
Like the
Right.
Colts
Because
have
you
the
can- we
Colts
can
have
get on the
tiebreaker
list.
over New England, too.
Scheduling wise.
My point is
Who
the
has
Bills are
public road?
twice as more likely to win a Super Bowl than the Titans are right now.
Wait, Kobe
The
going. I
favorite.
don't know.
Yeah, we can't say anything
Kansas
about
City's
these
the only
AFC.
team that's clinched a spot in the AFC, man. So you can say that
That's
about
it.
any
Derrick
team,
Henry
like Royce
comes
said.
back.
That's it.
Everything's
Only
gonna
one
change,
team
bro.
has clinched playoff
Yeah,
hopes
and that's the
in the AFC.
that's
And
the-
after what Buffalo just did to the Patriots, I'm picking them to win that division. And if
But
you win the
it's-
division, you're automatically in the
it's,
playoffs.
it's a lot of close. Like it's not that far off from Kansas City being locked and the other teams below them not though. So
No,
it's
one more
like-
week will do it.
yeah, Tennessee.
Yeah.
Tennessee could be locked right now at 10-5.
But they're not. Is
Yeah,
the thing.
because
And we don't really have to
tiebreakers
play.
and people have
The
to
Titans
lose
don't
and
have
stuff
to
like
play. But that's what I'm saying. The Titans can clinch a playoff spot.
that. Oh yeah, they
before we
can. They don't
touch
even
the
have
field.
no reason next to their name. So Titans can literally just clinch off another win. I think everybody
Or if
below
another
that
team
has
loses,
it. So
if another team loses.
Indy has the tiebreaker over
Exactly.
New
Everybody
England.
else doesn't. Everybody else can't say that.
New England playoff hopes only relies on, I think, the Colts. The Dolphins can still make the playoffs if they win the tiebreaker over Los Angeles. Wins against Baltimore, I think.
If we're going to talk about teams that could make the playoffs, I mean, some of these teams in bad can make playoffs too. So I mean, we
Right,
can't
right,
really.
right.
Okay,
we
let me
can't hold too
ask you a
much
No,
weight.
not really, because they don't have Vegas making it. They don't have the Steelers making it. Even though they could, there's no reasons next to these guys' name.
Listen,
Like,
when
so
you
they still
use-
have Cleveland Browns making the playoffs.
if you're the
When you
Chiefs
use
right
the
now-
word scary, when you use the word scary about what teams you are scared of, I'm gonna forget the good, bad, great, and all that. I'm gonna just use the word scared, okay? I'm telling you right now, the only teams that are in good to lower that maybe you could say scares you a little bit are the Colts and the Cowboys. Don't mean they should be moved up, but they could scare you a little bit. Nobody else, I'm sorry, Arizona has gone downhill for weeks now. You can blame it on an injury or not an injury. They've been going downhill. After what I've seen the Patriots do against Buffalo this weekend, I'm not scared of the Patriots. And a Derrick Henry-less Titans, I'm not scared of. The Chargers losing to the Texans, I'm not scared of.
It's not
Miami's
about being
7-game
scared
winning
of.
streak,
What about
Miami's
who you-
7-game winning streak means nothing to me. So after going through all those teams, the Colts and the Cowboys, maybe you can make an argument for moving up. But nobody else in that list I can make that argument for. I am not scared of the Titans. And as much as I hate the Cowboys, I trust the Cowboys more than I trust the Titans. And you
I
don't even
agree.
got Derrick Henry.
I agree
100% agree.
110%.
100% agree.
With the Colts
Yeah,
and the
it don't seem
Cowboys.
like it's
I'm
changing.
sorry, man.
It does seem like it's changing, Frank. I gave you, I tried. I gave you time to change these niggas' minds, but these niggas
You
ain't
gave them
changing
more than enough time.
You ain't changing their minds, bro. They stuck on it. So that's the list. So the list for listeners on Spotify, Apple, and Google, we didn't change the list. Top 10
Oh,
Super
wait,
Bowl
real quick.
contenders.
Real quick, I actually would move the Colts and the Cowboys up.
But it
We
has to
can
be
move 'em up.
unanimous. It has to be unanimous.
Okay,
So
I'm with him. I'm with him. Move them up.
You got
That's
the
my
number
vote.
2
Move 'em up.
team as a good, but the Titans are the number 2 team right now in the AFC.
I'd
That's
move
true.
the
You're
Colts.
talking
and
about
Cowboys
moving-
up.
Yeah, but
You're talking
this is
about
like
moving
power
the Colts.
rankings, bro.
Who-
You
Yo,
said in the
this is
beginning the record doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But the production has to mean something if we're beating the
You know
top
what?
teams.
Yeah,
Frank
but
is
you
a
beat them
prisoner
with
of his
Derrick
own
Henry.
statement. Frank
You
is a
don't have
prisoner of
Henry
his own
anymore.
statements.
And you don't have an offensive lineman.
All right, I'm calling it. No changes. We gotta move on. We gotta move on. No changes. So for the listeners at home, I did change the first tier list from untouchable to Super Bowl contenders, and we have Buccaneers, Kansas City, Green Bay. Great teams. We only have 2 with Rams and Bills. Good teams: Colts, Vikings,
and-
Cowboys, Arizona, Bengals, New England, Tennessee, Chargers, Ravens, Dolphins. Bad team. We have Browns, Eagles, Raiders, Falcons, Saints. Washington football team. Got to make sure you get that name right. Broncos, Steelers, San Fran, and then trash team, we have both the New York teams, Jets and Giants, Lions, Bears, Texans, Jaguars, Seahawks, and Carolina.
And this is all, if I may add, this is all a good thing. Us all disagreeing, us yelling at Frank. This is a good thing, okay?
Yeah,
Frank, you was by yourself today, bro. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Frank, I could yell at you all day.
I ain't tripping.
What GK say? What GK say? Fuck that. What you say, GK?
I said, get the fuck out of here.
Get the fuck out of here.
No, but burn that damn room.
Listen, no, I agree with Frank on a lot of stuff, though. Don't get it twisted.
Bro. I ain't hear shit you just said. All I heard was, shut the fuck up. That came off a little aggressive. That
was born.
Don't get it twisted. I agree with Uncle Frank on a lot of stuff. But
absolutely.
Yeah.
But
we all friends.
No good.
All right, so let's run over a couple of quick things. So we can end this episode, and we're gonna finish off on one record that's impressive. But just so you guys know, you don't got to comment on this, but KD and Kyrie had clear protocol. Got the news this morning, so I think they will be playing in the next game.
There it is, right there. Bro,
the Atlanta Hawks are falling, bro. I don't consider them. I don't know what's going on with the Atlanta Hawks. I don't know if it's too early to continue to write them off or what's up with them. But Atlanta is not doing good. Atlanta is right now. I don't even know what Atlanta.
Nobody expected Atlanta to do what they did last season.
At 15 and 18, which is a little shocking to me.
Nobody expected Atlanta to do what they did last season, so why couldn't it be a fluke?
I mean,
why couldn't it be?
In other news, Cousins had played 4 games with the Bucks, and not the last game, because last game I don't think he scored. The first game he had 9.9, was it 9 points, 12 rebounds? Something like that. The next game he had like 19 points, in the game after that 22. So Cousins has been giving the Bucks some needed minutes and some needed scoring over there, just in case you guys mixed that. But I want to get to Pete's in the final topic before we get ourselves out of here. Pete had this question. It's a really good question, and we're going to start off with Pete. And it's one record that is most impressive or unbeatable to you. Pete, start.
Oh, I get it. I go first. All right.
The one that got it, so I'm gonna give it to you.
So listen, man. This is not one I know. Nobody has this on their list at all. Before I even say it, I'll just give a little hint. Okay. I called one of these guys one of my top 10 basketball players. So I'm gonna get a little funky
coming.
Yeah. Let's say it for me, Frank.
Is it John Stockton?
Who?
Is it Jay Stockton assist record?
Stockton wasn't even on my list, man. Get out of here, man.
They're gonna say Bill Russell's 11 championships.
What I said before we got them on here, I said everybody gonna talk about Kareem scoring, Stockton assists.
Listen. Okay, so listen.
I got more.
I might be the old head on this show, so let me let y'all know real quick, okay?
Maravich. What you got?
I'm going Pistol Pete Maravich, okay? Let me say something real quick, okay? Are y'all aware that not just the #1 scoring season in NCAA history, not just the second scoring record in NCAA history, but also the 3rd scoring record in NCAA history for averaging points in a season? You ready for this number? You sure? Okay. In 1967 and 1968, Pistol Pete Maravich averaged 43.8 points a game. In 68-69, he averaged 44.2 points a game. And in 69-70, he averaged 44.5 points a game. Y'all ready for the most craziest thing about it? There was no 3-point line back then. He averaged over 40 points a game in 3 consecutive seasons and went up each year from 43.8, 44.2 to 44.5 with no 3-point line. Now, when you say no 3-point line, the first thing you think of, oh, okay, he was some big dude like Wilt Chamberlain. And we always talk about going against plumbers, and they were playing against these guys and little small white guys that couldn't play no defense. So all he did was dunk, 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 dunk. Well, no, Pistol Pete Maravich was a guard. He wasn't a dunker. And without a 3-point line, the man averaged in college over 40 points a game, 3 consecutive seasons in a row before he went off to the NBA. No player is ever in the history of this world, even with a 3-point line, ever going to touch that record. Just to give you some backup, the next 2 closest people to even come close to Pistol Pete Maravich was in 1953 and 1954. A guy by the name of Frank Selvey went to Furman University, and he averaged 41.7. And then in 1970 and 1971, a guy by the name of Johnny Newman, who went to Ole Miss, averaged 40.1. 44 points a game in 3 consecutive seasons in college without a 3-point line and as a guard. Who's going to beat it? We got a ton of scorers. You got your Steph Currys, your Kevin Durant's. You got all the people in this world that have played college basketball who we talk about way before we talk about Pistol Pete Maravich, and maybe even had a way better NBA career than Pistol Pete Maravich. I will go with that. But what that man did in college will never be duplicated, will never even come close. Shoot, I don't even got to talk about Pistol Pete Maravich. I can name the 2 other guys I just named that are below Pistol Pete that still average 40 points a game. That will never come close to that. When you talk about averaging points for a game, you're usually around what? 28, 29, maybe 30 points a game. The dude averaged 44 points a game without a 3-point line. Who's going to beat it, guys?
Can I ask you a question?
Who's going to beat it?
Can I ask you a question? You think that that's going to be harder to beat as an NCAA record than Wilt Chamberlain's 50?
Yeah, I was just about to say.
Well, wait.
It's not about
listen,
comparing. Hold on. It's not
let me
about
finish.
comparing others. Hold on, G, because now I see the route you're going. It's not about comparing other people's unbroken record. It's just what's impressive to you.
Yeah.
So that's
I thought we were
impressive
talking
to
about
Pete.
like
No,
what's the
it's the most impressive or unbeatable to you.
To you.
To
Okay,
you
cool.
individually.
Cool.
But
So
no,
yeah, I didn't want you to
I'm
go
asking-
on that.
So
Yeah, I
I'm
didn't want you to
asking
go on that.
specifically to him. So are you saying that the likelihood of Pete's record is less likely to be broken than Wilt's record of 50 a
No.
game in the pros?
No, GK. What he's saying is that is the most impressive record to himself. Not no other record compared to it, not standing next to another record. That is just the record he likes. That's just
So
what
real
he
quick,
likes.
right?
I'm not comparing it.
But
to
I'm
any other
asking
record.
him. I'm asking him how can he
But
consider
that's
that
what I'm
one
saying.
more
It's not
impressive
fair
than
for
the
you to
50?
ask him because now you what you're
It's
doing
okay.
is you're taking his. No, I know it's okay. I'm not saying that you can't answer, but what I'm saying is it's not fair for you to ask him. Oh, are you gonna stack that up to this record? It's just what's up to him. It doesn't matter about no other record. That's what I'm saying. If you want to stack your records up to each other when you're thinking about the record that's impressive to you, that's fine. But for Pete to finish his soliloquy about this is the record that's more impressive to me, and the first thing you do is all right, let me find something to not attack him, but to attack. Oh, you think this record is better than this record? That's not the point of why we're doing. The point is just to tell me one record that you feel is most impressive to you. He picks Pistol Pete. That's fine. He's not saying that it's more important than Wilt's 100 points. He's not
I'm not saying
it's
more
better
important.
than.
I'm asking him why he considers it more impressive than Wilt's.
Because it's just
So
him.
you're saying Wilt averaged 50 in an NBA game, correct? For the season, correct?
For the season, yeah.
Okay. I would definitely compare the two, absolutely. But the one thing that I give such an advantage to is he was a guard. He wasn't a big guy that scored all around the basket. When you score around the basket and you can dunk, those are called high percentage shots. It's a much more high likelihood that the ball is going in the basket. But when you're a jump shooter and a guard, the way that Pistol Pete Maravich were, and you were able to average 44 points a game and do it 3 seasons in a row, that's crazy to me.
Let me ask you a
And
quick
on
question,
top
GK.
of that, no one's ever beaten the record. You know this. We all can sit here right now and say that record will go down for a lifetime. We won't be here no more. The record will never be beaten. And ready for this? Even let's just say if it did get beaten, I'm supposed to give some guy credit for beating it by a couple points when he had a 3-point line and was making 3-pointers? Come on. The guy did it off of 2-point shots as a guard. That's crazy to me. I'm sorry.
Troy, you should have just let him
There's
answer.
a reason why that
No,
man.
because I didn't want to.
There's a reason why that man is top 75 and top 50 of all time.
Yeah, I didn't want to give people the incentive, GK, to just start asking questions while everybody's talking about their impressive record to themselves. I didn't want to be a basis of, oh no, this record is way better than the record that you're bringing up.
Yeah,
no,
we ain't doing that. We're good.
Yeah, I want people to stay on the line that it's impressive to him. I wanted you to finish your question, but I just wanted you to understand that it's not about staying in records next to records. It's just a record that's impressive to you. So I'll go next. So you guys are understanding.
One last thing,
Now,
just one last thing,
go
right?
ahead, Pete.
Just one last thing, right?
Go ahead,
And you said, Will, the record and all that, right? But don't forget too, the 3 seasons in a row and just upping it each time. 43.8 to 44.2 to 44.5. And then when you say, how many guys can you sit here and say besides maybe like I know Curry with like his like a 3-point shot, it's like for a season, he's like 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 on the list or something like that. This guy is 1, 2, and 3 on the list. There's no other name in between his names separating it. Like 1, 2, and 3. Then you got to go find a 4th guy that has a better scoring season average than him. I just think that's crazy, man. I just do, man.
So I'll give you an example of mine. So like I told.
Well, wait, hold on. I just want to comment on his real quick. So I agree with everything you just said, and I'm glad you explained it to me. That's why I asked. So I agree that like it's definitely, I would consider it more impressive than Wilt's for sure. But if you bring up the word unbeatable, I think
Wilt is unbeatable too. It is.
Wilt is harder to beat probably, but not as impressive, but more difficult to. Yeah.
That's fair. Absolutely, that's fair.
Okay, Troy, go ahead.
All right, so for mine is a little different. So Frank actually brought up the person I'm gonna name, John Stockton. So you guys will hear John Stockton be like, you're gonna bring up the assist and no. I actually got another person. His name is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. But what you guys are probably thinking is, damn, he gonna bring up the scoring. No. Did you guys also know that John Stockton leads the league in steals?
Correct.
Yeah, steals. You know, yeah. They were just talking about that.
It's by a big market. It's by a big
3,000.
It's a
3,000.
big margin.
Nobody talks about that. It's always
something.
assists. It's always assist. I have never heard John Stockton lead in steals. It's always assists.
Yeah.
Man leads in steals. All right. And then Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, not only does he lead in points, he leads in field goals made.
I didn't know that.
He leads in field goals made. I got one more for you because I wanted the football.
Well, LeBron is going to beat him in points. LeBron is going to pass him in points.
He leads by a big margin. No, he leads by a pretty good margin over LeBron. LeBron's like third. He has to pass one more person to get to Kareem.
I think that's Karl Malone, right?
Yeah.
Is it Karl
He's
Malone?
not, and I think he's off a couple of thousand from Karl and probably a couple of more thousand from Kareem because I was looking at it last night. But I want to bring up another name, but it's just not fair to give you a stat because the man leads in everything. And that's Jerry Rice.
Yeah.
That's where he done stole mine.
Dude literally leads in everything.
Every wide receiver
Leads in
category.
Everything. And I think that's impressive and it's unbeatable. For John Stockton, his assists don't look like it's gonna, his steals don't look like it's gonna be beat along with his assists. His steals, it's off by a couple of thousand. So that's crazy. And Kareem's field goals made, that might be an unbeatable record too that nobody talks about. So those
I think Jerry Rice's records could go down though. Those could possibly go down.
He leads at so many. You take one down, he still got 6-7 more.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Stockton, on the other hand, nobody's even coming close to the steals.
It was I was gonna pick a dude, honorable mention. I forget the dude's name. He's from back in the day, but he threw 8 interceptions It was 8 interceptions in one game. He leads the league. He holds the record for interceptions in one game with 8.
Oh, that's a bad record to have.
That's a crazy record. That will probably never be.
That's rough.
But we're gonna kick it to you, GK. Who you got? What's your most impressive or unbeatable record?
So for me, those are like two totally different things. Impressive and
impressive or unbeatable. I say impressive and unbeatable.
So like in terms of unbeatable, then I got to go with Cy Young pitching 740 complete games.
That's insane.
Because pitchers today don't even pitch one complete game in all year long. They just don't let them.
5 innings and done.
Yeah, they let them pitch 5 to 6 innings and then they take them out regardless if they're doing good, bad, if they feel good, bad. The management just takes them out and they don't let them pitch a complete game. So based on that, no one's ever going to be able to beat that record because they don't even let them do it. Impressive. That like probably won't get beat. Maybe either Lance Armstrong or
one out of the box
or Gretzky.
Gretzky.
I forgot about Cal Ripken Jr.
Oh, you took both of mine.
But yeah, if I'm just picking one thing, I'm gonna need to go with Cy Young. But I wanted to mention those other ones too.
Now, real quick, there's a reason, GK. The award is named after the guy for that reason.
Award. The Cy Young
Award. The Cy Young Award is named after him for that reason. And that's And the Cal Ripken thing that you brought up too. The great thing about that is, though, I will say, and like even with the pitching thing, like they're not even given the opportunity to do these things. Guys get rest nowadays. You could never do that consecutive Cal Ripken thing because your coach is making you sit down for rest one game, and then your record is done. That just like that.
So the Cal Ripken one was one of mine. I'm gonna go ahead and do mine.
Yeah, I was just about to kick it to you, Roy.
I got 2. So my first one was the Cal Ripken one. He played in 2,632 games consecutively. That's 16 years of playing in every game. That's
162
insane.
games a season.
That's crazy. And so like I was looking at the games and seeing like, okay, like who's kind of like close to this record? No active player is within 2,000 games of him. 2,000. The record's
Nobody plays the full season
2,632.
That's
just-
when you think about that, that's just like
That's insane. That's never going to be broken. I mean, never even close. I mean, the players are paid so much money now, like, you know, they're valuable commodities, you know,
Yeah, you
they're
don't
putting
wanna
too much
know.
money into their players to let them do stuff like that.
Mhm.
I mean, with 2,000 games, I mean, come on. That's insane.
For
16
real.
years. My other one is the Wayne Gretzky one. 9 MVPs. 9 MVPs. That's insane. To be the greatest player in your sport 9 times, and arguably he should have won it 2 more times, so he could have had 11. But that record's not even close to being broken by anybody.
That record was never.
That's not even in hockey. That's not even hockey. That's in sports in general.
Yeah, no, not
That-
today's the way sports work today. We're handing out awards.
It's not even close.
LeBron should have
They said
more
the same-
MVPs than what he
that's
has
what
right
they-
now. But
They said
get
that about
tired.
LeBron.
They get tired of seeing the same person. I forget the word
Yes.
they use for it. Excuse me.
Yeah.
They want to give somebody else a chance. They want to
Yeah,
be fair.
they get tired of seeing the same
So-
person over and over.
And the
so-
margin in
Mahomes
points for
is that
Gretzky is
about?
huge too. He almost leads the second guy behind him in points is down 1,000.
Yeah, it's not even close. Wayne Gretzky is the GOAT. I mean, that's undisputed. Like, you know, in other sports, people dispute who's the greatest of all time. When it comes to hockey, there is no debate. There is not even close of being a debate. It is Wayne Gretzky, the great one, the chosen one. I mean, like, people don't even know hockey, know who Wayne Gretzky is.
Oh,
I mean, there's a reason he's
Mhm.
referenced in so many things in pop culture and just everything in general. And the thing about his record with the MVPs, I was kind of looking at other people's MVPs and saying, like, who's like close to, even in any sport, of having close to enough MVPs of 9. Barry Bonds has 7. That's the closest person. And obviously he's not playing anymore and he won't nothing. So, but in football, no football players won more than 3, and only Bill Russell can fill up one hand. So he got 5. So, I mean, like, no one's
Don't Peyton Manning got 4?
MVP awards.
Yeah.
No one has more than, I
Four
think he has
sounds like a
3.
lot. Four
I think he
sounds
has
like a
3.
lot.
But 9 MVPs, that's not getting touched. That's not even
Real.
close of getting touched.
All right,
But
Frank, it's on
that's my
you.
rant.
Most impressive or
Especially in
unbeatable?
today's day and age, I don't think reporters would even vote for a guy 9 times anymore.
Yeah.
No,
You know the
because
thing that's-
what is it
yeah.
called? Come on, GK, you should know what reporters call it. It's a phrase they call it.
The AP, wait, what do you mean?
When they get voters fatigue. It's voters fatigue. That's why they don't vote for the same person the consecutive years.
Because
It's
they're tired of
voters
seeing
fatigue.
him. Yeah, no, so
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
You said MVPs, right?
Yeah.
Not-
For Peyton?
Oh, MVP, he has 3, I believe. 3 or 2. Because no football player has more than 3, I believe.
5.
MVPs?
2003, 2004, 2008,
That's what I'm saying. I knew he
2009,
had, like-
2013.
I thought no
for
one had
sure
more
it
than
was
3.
4.
Yeah, it's 5.
Yeah.
But it's on
Wow.
you, Frank. Unbeatable, most
It's not
impressive.
9.
Well,
You said not
initially my most impressive one was Jerry Rice, like how you said.
everything.
Yo, just me being a football guy at heart and a wide receiver, like some of those records are what you call longevity records. Like you'll literally have to play 20 plus years, or you have to play an elite 15, 16 years to catch some of those records. And that's just, I don't think that's just not gonna happen. And then the Wilt 100, I'm a little simpler with that. The 100-point game. Nobody's ever gonna score 100 points in an NBA game. It's not possible.
For all those
Even
people
with
out there saying it wasn't
how the
real,
game is flowing
go look at
today,
the box
there's
score.
no way.
for
I
all the
mean, you
people out
can
there
get
saying
close
we
to
don't
60,
score 100,
70.
Ain't real.
80.
But look at the box score and add the numbers up for yourself.
There's no way. And then Wilt did it without the 3-point
And that's why a
line.
lot of people say it's fake because it's like ain't no 3-point line. How you score 100 points? But then they say, oh, he's a poor free throw shooter. Well, you go look at the 24 free throws he made out of 40 something, I think, or 30 something, and the 30 something
Ridiculous.
shots he made out of 40.
Well,
so
yeah,
I
but
added
Will,
it up
what you say it
myself.
wasn't a 3-point line. The 3-point line don't matter in Wilt's case because he wasn't a shooter anyway.
No, he wasn't a shooter, but he was
And that's,
No.
I
And
mean,
he's-
that made it
and he's
more
really-
impressive. It's an endurance record. You got to
Mhm.
attribute that into it as well, like to have the endurance to play
If
the
there's
game,
one player I
literally
could
the
say that
whole
would beat
game.
Wilt's, that I would have thought could have beat Wilt's record, it would have been LeBron.
Hell
What
no.
record of
I
what?
wouldn't have said
The 100
LeBron.
points in the game? Hell yeah.
Well,
The way
Kobe
Kobe
scored
when
80.
his early years when LeBron came into the league, when he was just dominating everybody, he could have fucking took over a game and scored 100 points if he wanted to.
Hell
Nobody
no.
could stop him, bro. Nobody. You telling me?
Hell
And
no.
Hard
LeBron's first
disagree.
couple of years, he
And I'm
wasn't
sorry. I'm
unstoppable.
sorry. I'm gonna be
I'm
honest.
just telling you,
no.
I think
As
LeBron.
Hard
great as Wilt
disagree.
was, as great as
No
Wilt
threes.
was,
I'm talking about somebody to do it with no threes. It would be LeBron.
Nah. Bron don't know.
as great as Wilt
he
was,
doesn't know how to create
his
his own
height and
shot.
his height
That's
and his
true.
dominance.
He just,
had
but
a
he can
huge
power
part to do
pass
with that
you.
100
But that's what
game.
I'm saying, Frank. He doesn't need to create his own shot. He can literally 1-2 dribble, get to the paint. 1-2 dribble, get to the paint. His big ass body, he can do the same thing over and over and over and over and get to the paint and score at ease. He's been doing it all his career. How you think he's
Can I
say
30
that
points?
He could probably do that in Wilt's era. I believe absolutely.
No, I'm
There
talking about.
you
I'm not
go.
talking about
Now
now.
you're making sense.
Now, I think no, I'm not talking about now. I'm talking about when LeBron came into the league before, because it was a different league then, as it is now. Now it's a more 3-point shooting league where it wasn't that much 3-point shooting, even when LeBron first came into the league. That's just my opinion. I could be wrong. You guys could think I'm wrong at home, but I just think if it's anybody that could have in a modern day beat Wilt Chamberlain's record with no 3-pointers, LeBron has the body physique to do that shit. He can get to the paint at will. He can score at will. He can dunk on you at will. You can't stop the man. So if he literally had in his brain, I'm going to score 101 points today. Everybody get the fuck out my way. Everybody gonna get the fuck out LeBron way, and LeBron will go out there and score 101 points.
I
It might
think
take him
Kobe's
3
81
games
points.
to work it out and how to do it, and how to pace himself to do it. But I think he could do it early in his days.
I think Kobe's. I know there was a 3-point line, but I actually think Kobe's 81 points was more
came the closest,
impressive. Was more impressive than Wilt's 100.
Yes.
Whoa.
And then
I did.
yes.
Whoa.
I do too.
Is it because you've seen it?
God.
Is it because you've seen it?
No. So ready for this? Right?
I agree with Pete.
Just go back and do a little bit of info on that game that day, who they played, who was in the lineup, what was going on and stuff. I mean, my father, who's older than all of us, was around at that time when it happened. I'm just going by what he told me and some of the things that I've heard on TV and seen and read about and stuff. There was some fugazi going on in that game, man. It was a lot of just, okay, bam, 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 light defense type of things going on, man. That's all I'm saying.
Winning. I disagree.
Wait,
They
in
were
what game?
winning. Kobe had to bring us back to win
In
that
what
game.
game? In the Kobe game or the Wilt game?
No,
the 81
I'm
point
talking about the
game.
Wilt game. The
You're
Wilt
talking about
game.
the
I'm
Wilt
saying.
game.
Oh,
I'm not taking that because Wilt was
You talking
taller
about
than
the
everybody,
Kobe.
so he can fugazi and fucking make it look like they're not playing defense, bro. He was taller
Right.
than everybody.
Look at it this way. If you had to step into somebody's shoes and play as Wilt in that 100-point game or play as Kobe in his game, which one would have had a higher degree of difficulty? Kobe's was harder to do.
No. Kobe had the 3-point line.
Yeah, but
He took his
He wasn't an
advantage.
efficient 3-point shooter though.
yes,
So
It
but
wasn't.
I could kinda-
Yeah. How many of them
yeah.
baskets were 3-pointers?
I could kind of agree.
A
with
lot
that.
of them.
But I'm
Are
saying
you
like
kidding
how
me?
much easier it was easier
think that
for
was the game he
Wilt
set
to
the
get
record.
his 100 than it was for Kobe to get his 80.
It was. It was
I
much
can
easier
agree
for
with that
Wilt.
because I don't because back in the
100%.
60 defense wasn't like it was in the 80s, 90s. So I can
So
agree.
back
that
to what
now in the
GK said
2000s,
before.
going into the 2000s, that defense still was a little bit stiff, and Kobe he probably had to work for it a lot more. But let's
Right.
not talk about.
Pace
Let's not
was
talk
in that
about.
time.
Let's not talk about it because I think Frank, you was here for this when we had the conversation about Kobe's last game and how people would just let him score. They could have did the same thing.
How
in
they
the
said
81
they
game.
was.
Like they do that to great players. Great players.
No.
Yes, they
No.
do. Yes, they
Wait,
do.
hold on a minute.
The Raptors
Kobe's
were
last game. Hold on a minute. Hold
winning
on.
that game. That
The only
81-point
person
game.
the only people that let Kobe score in his last game was Kobe's teammates because they gave him the ball on every
Exactly.
single
No,
play.
hell no.
The Utah
Exactly.
Jazz were not letting Kobe
You're gonna
Exactly.
sit here and tell me the
Thank
Utah
you.
Jazz didn't
Finally
his
somebody
combined
say that.
game, the superstar that he is. We had this conversation. The superstar that Kobe is, the league ain't gonna go to the Jazz like, yo, make it competitive, but Kobe gotta go off. It's his
man, that's not-
farewell.
No,
You
The
guys
Jazz was
crazy.
winning.
You guys crazy.
The
You
The
talking
Utah
Jazz
about
Jazz
won winning.
did not
The
want to lose
Jazz
that
was at
won
the
winning. I'm
highest
not
level.
saying
Who
the
gets
The
paid
Utah
for
Jazz
playing?
did not want to lose that
Come
Come
on,
game.
the Jazz
man.
losing. I'm saying when you have a super megastar like Kobe Bryant, nigga,
No,
the Jazz
bro.
probably went to their own players like, yo, keep the game
Hell,
competitive,
come on,
but let
man.
Kobe go off. How many players?
Let him
how
go
many, How many
off.
teams?
No.
Kobe
How
wouldn't
many
respect
teams-
that, bro.
You guys,
saying
hold on. For you guys saying
Kobe
that it's
wouldn't
not real.
respect that.
How many teams go in game plan and be like, yo, this guy can get off tonight, nobody else gets off? That shit happens all the time. You don't think they're gonna do the same thing for Kobe in his last game?
But that
They're
doesn't mean
not
he's
The
not
same
playing
thing is
defense.
going to
No,
happen
that-
to
that's not
LeBron in
them giving
LeBron's
him the
last
game,
game.
say-
Mark my words. LeBron's last game, you're going to see a tightly contested game, but in that fourth quarter, LeBron's going to have all open lanes to drive and do whatever he wants, bro.
That's
Go watch the
that's
game again.
crazy.
Go watch the
That-
game.
I
You
watched
telling
the
me
game.
about to
I
say,
watched it
you-
live.
You're gonna
I
have
watched
to
the
watch
game
it.
live.
Bro,
You
so
also watch
none
the
of
game?
those
No way that
players
you
were
can
like,
say that they
here,
gave
have a
him that
free
game.
basket.
No, I'm not saying they gave
were
him
picking
the
him up at
game.
full court.
Y'all not listening. Y'all being prisoners of the moment. I didn't say the Jazz let him win the game. I said that the Jazz let Kobe go off for the 60 points. That's what I said. I didn't say nothing about them winning the game. When GK said they were winning the game, I said you were right.
That goes hand in hand.
No,
That's a hand-to-hand
okay,
comment.
you can say that, but I didn't say those words. What I said was the only thing I'm talking about is Kobe's goodbye game, last game. Do your thing, bro. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Do your thing.
The Jazz didn't have no
Why
say
did
so on
Draymond
whether
Green?
Kobe
Why
did
did
his
Draymond
thing.
Green tell Paul Pierce
what would they have
ain't no
to say so on
farewell
that?
tour for you?
The
You ain't getting the
only thing
Kobe
you can
treatment.
say-
Why did he
the
say
only-
that to him?
What?
Why did Draymond Green tell Paul Pierce you ain't getting the Kobe treatment? Why did he say that to him?
They don't
Tell
love
me
you
I'm
like
They're not the
wrong.
that.
same type of player.
They don't
No,
love you
he
like
told
that.
him that, but yes,
Exactly,
because he's no
boy,
Kobe.
exactly.
But he
They're
was
not the same
saying,
type of
listen,
players.
yes, I agree with you there. Yes, I agree with you there. I'm not saying Paul Pierce and Kobe was the same player. I'm asking you, why would Draymond Green say that to Paul Pierce, knowing Paul Pierce is a Hall of Famer, knowing Paul Pierce is a champion? No, we're not saying that
You know
Kobe
why?
and
You
Paul
know
Pierce
why
are on the
Draymond
same
said
level.
that?
What I'm saying is
Because
Draymond told
Draymond
Paul
takes
Pierce
his
that
defense
for
seriously.
a reason, because Kobe got special treatment on his way out. That's what I'm saying. Draymond
And
said it
listen,
to Paul Pierce.
but let me say one
You're
thing.
not getting the Kobe
Draymond
treatment.
is known. Draymond takes his defense very seriously.
But
And
it's
if
not
we
even
put
about
the
Draymond.
Golden
I'm just
State
saying what
Warriors
Draymond said
against-
to him. Draymond said it for a reason.
But I understand that. But that is
How
about
many
Draymond.
people?
If
How
you
many
put
people in the
Draymond
NBA
on
get a
the Golden
farewell
State
tour?
Warriors,
How many people in the NBA get a farewell tour?
if you
Somebody
put
explain it to me.
Draymond on the, if you put
Somebody explain
Draymond
to
on
me
the
how many
Jazz or the
NBA
Golden
players
State
got a
Warriors
farewell
against that
tour
Kobe
that
team
wasn't
in
Hall
his
of
last
Famers or
game,
great players or the number one player option on their team? How many people? Paul Pierce was the number one option on Boston, was he not? He didn't get a farewell tour. Kobe, that's why I said mega stars like Kobe. I preferenced it. So you guys wouldn't get confused
It
with what I'm
doesn't mean
saying.
they let him have free
listen, we
baskets.
had this conversation.
Yeah, that's what I'm
before.
saying.
It's what I believe.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say it like the dude on the podcast I watched say. My personal opinion, all right? My personal opinion is that in that fourth quarter, the Jazz let Kobe have shots because they thought they still was going to win the game. Let Kobe go off. We're going to still do our thing. That happens every time.
But let me
Now
say,
in today's game,
yes,
hold
you're
on.
right,
In today's
you're right.
game, the superstars
But-
not let other superstars get off. Yes, they do. Does LeBron
Okay,
not
so
let
let me just
Kobe
say
get
one
off? I
thing.
mean, KD get off in the game. Yes, he
You're
does. Does Kobe not let LeBron
No,
get off? Yes,
let
he does. They
him.
do it
Let me
all
say
the
one thing,
time.
please.
No,
Let me say one
man.
thing. Do you know
No.
what the
He's like,
definition?
here,
Hold
go
on,
ahead,
let me
score.
They do it
let me
all the
explain
time.
something.
Yes, they
what?
do it all the
What?
time, bro.
Let me
Hell
explain
no.
something, please.
Hell
Let me
no.
explain what the definition of letting a player get off is. Hear me out, okay? When a team says we're
Please.
gonna let him get off, that means we know how good he is. If he beats us, fine, but we're not gonna let the rest of the team
Thank
beat
I said that in
you.
the beginning.
Thank
You
you.
saying
That's
thank
what
you,
that
but I said that in
means.
the beginning. So what are you saying thank you
But
for?
That's not
You
the
should
same
agree
thing as
with
what you
me.
were saying.
Yes, I did. I said the exact same thing Frank Peach just said. The same exact words out my mouth.
No, you
Yes, I did.
didn't.
No,
Yes,
No,
I
you
did.
didn't. No, you
Yes,
did
I
not.
did. Yo, I
No.
can't wait till you guys watch it back. I
You
can't
said-
wait.
though.
You know what I'm
Troy,
gonna do?
you
I'm
said
not even
let
gonna
him
wait
get
till I
off.
post it.
You
I'm
said
not
let
even
him
gonna wait
get
till I
off.
post it. When I'm editing,
Troy,
I'm gonna
you said
clip it
one
and I'm
thing.
gonna send it to
You
the
said
group
it's the
chat.
fourth
And when you
quarter.
hear,
They're just
when
gonna,
you
all
hear
right,
me
we just gonna
say,
let Kobe
when you-
get off.
no,
We can still
when-
win, but we
and
just
then
gonna let
after
Kobe
that,
get
if
off.
you listen to me, you guys are so outrageous about me saying they let Kobe get off that all your little brain cells shut down. You
Not
would have
me.
heard me say exactly what Pete said. So what I'm gonna do for you guys, so I can stop arguing, so we can wrap this up. I'm not gonna argue with you guys. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna clip it and I'm
Arguing
gonna send
is
you the
good.
clip of me saying it. So then we
Listen.
can argue it. Then I'm gonna be like, okay, Frank, what was that? I didn't say it. Okay, now we got.
You were implying what they
I-
did
I-
for him, they did for Charles Barkley, and that's not even
That's
close.
yo.
No, I said
I know exactly
super
what you said and what
megastars
you're talking about.
get special
not even
treatment
close.
on their way out. Are you putting Charles Barkley on the
yo.
same level as Kobe Bryant? No, you're
No,
not.
bro. But if you,
You just
watch
put
Charles
Paul
Barkley's
Pierce on the
last
same
No, I
level as
said
Kobe
no, I
Bryant.
did not. See, and that's why I said your little brain cells shut down.
Bro,
I didn't
why
say
would you
Paul
use him as
Pierce
an
and Kobe
example
was the
then?
same. I said, why did
pulling Roy's
Draymond Green say to Paul Pierce, "You are not getting
Draymond
the
wasn't on the
Kobe
Jazz
treatment"?
that night.
Nobody's
Because
talking about
Kobe-
that, GK.
because Kobe
Nobody's
and
talking
Paul
about that.
Pierce
I
are
need
not
you
in the
guys.
same
I need you guys to
category.
listen. I need you to listen. What I'm saying is, there is a reason why Draymond Green said it to Paul Pierce. There's a reason for it. There's 100% a reason why Draymond would say to
Because
Paul
he
Pierce,
knows
"You're
he
not
He doesn't
Kobe.
respect him
You're
like he
not
respect
getting his
Kobe.
treatment." What I'm saying is, if
It's
you
a
guys listen to the whole thing instead of you guys still cutting me off, what I said was, and I'll say it one more time. What Draymond said to Paul Pierce is, "You're not Kobe." I agree with you when you said that, Frank. You're not Kobe, right? You're not getting the Kobe farewell treatment. What my point of saying that was, if you guys listen to me, is why would Draymond Green say that to Paul Pierce? Because Kobe got special treatment, which was my exact words. Kobe got special treatment on his way out. Yes or no? Did Kobe not get special treatment on his way out? Yes, he
He
did.
did not get special treatment on his way out.
So why was there a
In the
tribute
sense-
playing in
the
every
sense of-
stadium
in
when
the
he
sense-
leaving? Every
in the
stadium gave
in
Kobe
the
Bryant a
sense
tribute.
of-
That ain't
on
got
his
nothing to do with the
last
last
game in the
game, though,
stadium.
Troy.
in the sense
Troy,
of
that ain't got
him
nothing to do
playing
with the
on the
last
court.
game, though. We talking about the
In
last
the
No,
sense
game.
of him- his
I'm
production
talking
on the
about
court.
yes.
That's what I'm talking about.
You're talking, hey, GK, you can just unmute yourself. You have the power to unmute yourself. You don't have to. You don't have to type in the chat. Right? That nigga started typing in the chat. I see red bubbles down here. But I just want you guys to listen. I said what P said. You guys might have not caught it. That's fine. I said exactly what P said. I'm gonna send you the clip. I swear to God, I'm gonna start
I
editing this
addressed
shit
that.
like 2
Let me
hours,
say something real
but
quick.
I'm
I
gonna
heard
send you
exactly
the
what
clip.
you said.
But I said
The way you-
exactly what P said along with what I was saying. So you probably got it mixed and confused. I
But
agree
one
with P
thing,
said.
no,
I'm
one
on the
thing
same
contradicts
But
the
what I'm
other
saying,
thing.
that could be true. But what I'm saying is Kobe got special treatment. I'm just gonna put it like this. Whether you guys believe the Jazz gave him special treatment, let him score buckets, whatever you, in my personal opinion, from me watching the game live from beginning to end on the day that Kobe ended his career, when I watched that game, in that fourth quarter, the Jazz let him score. Kobe was making easy back. I'm not saying they backed off of him like, yo, you can have all the space in the world. I'm not saying that, but superstars in today's league give other superstars lax treatment than they give other players. And superstars have said that. That's
So if
all
they
I'm
didn't
saying.
do that, how did they let him score?
So the only thing.
How did they
listen,
let him, by making it easier for him not playing the defense?
So
they
listen,
could have on him?
let's
What are
make
you
sure we're
talking about?
clear. Let's make sure we're clear on something. Hold on, let me get something here, okay? Let's make sure we're clear on something. Yes, this was a meaningless game. It didn't control anybody making the playoffs or anything like that at all. So what Troy is saying is, yes, a possibility. But at the same time, at the same time, when a person says, oh, if he gets off, fine, we got to make sure we shut everybody else down. The key word there is if he gets off. It doesn't mean we're not going to let him get off. It means we're going to do our best. But if he still gets off, as long as we shut the rest of the guys down, we should still get the W.
People don't go into a game and playing star for superstars like, yo, and when you're playing game planning for PG and Kawhi, which one do you want to go off and which one do you want to stop? You don't think coaches go into a game with that game plan? Yes. If there's a superstar and a star on the team, you're going to let one get off and you're going to stop one. That's all I'm saying they did for Kobe's farewell tour. I'm not saying they just gave him the fucking game like you guys are saying. I never said they gave him the game. I never said anything about the game. I said what they did was
that's what you insinuating. You can't say that you're not saying that. And that's what you're insinuating.
But you got to stop saying
Kobe.
You said they
Troy, what you got to stop saying is, and you just used it in your last example, you got to stop saying let. That's the wrong word.
I'm going to keep saying let because that's my personal opinion. You guys, listen, you guys can have your own personal opinion. All four of you guys could think that they didn't do it. That's fine. I'm not even mad at it. I don't care. But
when you're playing basketball and their bad shooter gets the ball, you say let him shoot.
Hold on, GK, hold on. What I'm saying is you guys are twisting my words and saying that I'm saying this when I'm not. I'm making it very clear what I'm saying. Whether you agree with me or not, Frank, whether you agree with me or not, what I'm saying is clear. I believe, and I'm going to say this one time, I believe superstars get special treatment. That does not stop when in their last year. Actually, in my opinion, gets heightened when you're a mega star like Jordan, Kobe, LeBron, Shaq. Those guys are going to step aside and be like, yo, it's one game. It's his last season. We can let him do his thing. So people could be like, ha, rah. Do you know what that 61 in Kobe's last game did for the NBA? Market prices went like this. GK, you love market, right? You love jersey sales. So why wouldn't they tell Kobe or let Kobe go off? Because it drives up the market. I said this before. I literally said this before.
So do you think the league,
I'm gonna go back
the
and find
league
the
told
episode.
referees not to call fouls on Michael Jordan for his last game?
Wait, hold on, Frank. Hold just because I can't hear you. Hold on. I'm gonna say this last thing. I'm gonna go back and find the episode where I said this on before with you guys on it, and none of you guys took this stance. None of you guys. This is not the first time I said this on the show. Roy wasn't here. But the other three of you guys, I have said this before, and neither one of you guys took this stance. So where's it coming from now? And the same thing I said then, I am saying now. I believe they let Kobe get off. And that's my belief. If you don't believe that, you don't believe that. Superstars, mega superstars get off. Frank, what was the question you asked? Because I didn't hear you.
So do you think that do you think the league came down and told the Utah Jazz or officials not to call certain fouls on Michael Jordan in the finals for his last year, or just let him get off in his last game in the finals?
His last year on the Wizards? Yeah, that could have been like, yo, let Jordan do his thing.
I'm talking about
when he retired on the NBA. That's a different.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
On the way out, he was on the Wizards.
On the way out. Oh no, on the way out.
Oh, you talking about on the
first
Bulls?
time around on the Bulls.
I'm not going to say that because I'm
That's
not
what I'm
going to
saying.
say
You
that
guys
because
wouldn't dare say that about Michael Jordan. So
Pete
don't say
said
it about
something that's
Kobe,
very
bro.
important, though. Pete said something that's very important. The game that we're talking about with Kobe meant nothing. The game that Jordan was in, the final game, meant something. And yes, refs do it all the time. If you're asking me if the league comes down and tells refs not to call this and call this, they do that shit all the time. Look at today's NBA. How many calls are not being called today that's actually fouls? A lot of them. A lot of them.
Say one thing
You're knocking great
I'm
players.
gonna tell you real quick.
10 years. Was the
great
call
players
the
do
same?
great
Yes,
things,
they miss
you
calls
make
all
it
the
seem
time.
like it has to be another reason outside of that
I
player
said my reason.
being
You
great
guys
on that
want
day.
another reason. You guys
But
want
that's the
another
only
reason. I said my
reason.
reasons.
You say-
I
but-
said my reasons.
Okay, I'm gonna
Did
say
I
one
not
thing,
say my
right?
reasons?
I'm almost 100% positive, right? Let me just say one thing real quick, right? I am almost 100% positive that I can speak right now for Draymond Green. Please don't cut me off. Let me say this one thing, right? What Draymond Green meant by when he made those comments to Paul Pierce was he already had the blueprint of watching what took place in the Kobe game, where no one on the Utah Jazz plays good defense like Draymond does. So he was letting Paul Pierce get the heads up like, listen, if you think this lacks defense and a bunch of guys in a game that don't matter, that don't play good defense, is going to let you score, well, guess what? I'm lining up against you tonight. And whether it's your last game or not, you better do your best because I'm putting the locks on you. That's what Draymond meant by that.
And that can also
Because he had the Kobe game to go by and didn't want Paul Pierce getting a...
He don't respect him on the level as
It was
Kobe.
his exact
So he don't
words.
deserve that type of treatment.
Right, and I agree with you, Frank.
The
Paul
tribute.
Pierce did not deserve that treatment. He didn't. Kobe did, though. And that's what Draymond, the same thing you just said, Pete, it's the same thing I said, but in different words. Draymond was alluding to Paul Pierce. You are not Kobe. You're not getting Kobe treatment. We're not going to sit here and not, like Pete said, not play defense on you or let you get yours off so you can have a good bye-bye tour. No, Kobe had a good bye-bye tour because everybody understood what Kobe meant to the game. And that's all I'm saying, whether you agree, disagree, or not. But GK, you said something earlier. I want to pass it back to you before we get closing thoughts and get out of here because I cut you off and that's unfair of me to cut you off. Go ahead. What you were saying?
I just think that I understand what you're trying to say, and I just think you just worded it poorly. Because the way you worded it made it seem like you were saying, well, we're just going to give Kobe free shots and not contest and just.
Oh, that's I clarified myself.
That's what you made it sound like.
No, but I said made it easier for him. Let him get off doesn't mean not play defense. And that Pete alluded to that
using
earlier.
that word.
And I should have corrected
That's
myself
what I'm
earlier when
saying.
Pete alluded to it. But then, Frank, I corrected
each
myself
other.
with you, Frank, and you stayed on the same thing. I literally didn't correct myself with GK. You're right. I didn't correct myself when Pete brought that up. Pete did bring it up a little while ago, and I didn't correct myself. I could have used a better term of words, and that's why I said it 3 more times so you guys can understand what I'm saying. I'm not saying the Jazz was like, yo, Kobe could score 100 tonight. Let him do his thing. No, Kobe, for me to say the Jazz let Kobe get everything would take away from Kobe's game tonight. That's not what I'm doing. What I'm saying is that they let him get off, meaning, listen, stay back on defense. Don't play that hard of a defense on him. Be in his face, but don't fucking, play it like it's a meaningful game, like we got something on the line. Let Kobe do his thing. Draymond said you're not getting the Kobe treatment. What is the Kobe treatment? If it's not that, what is the Kobe treatment?
The farewell
you know what's
tour.
difficult though? You know what's very difficult about saying
the farewell tour?
Yes. And go ahead, Pete.
That's what he was talking about.
Do you know what's very difficult?
What was done to Kobe on the farewell tour?
Do you know what's very difficult?
The farewell tour that Draymond Green. It wasn't just a tour, him going on because Paul Pierce had a farewell tour. It just
you know what's very difficult about saying we're going to let
that you're not Kobe. You can't have it on that same level as Kobe. I agree with you, Frank.
It has nothing to do with them on the court, though.
Do you know what's very difficult about saying? Here's what's difficult about saying that we let a guy get off, okay? Is you're talking about we're going to let Kobe get off, right? Well, if we remember correctly, every play was drawn for Kobe. As soon as somebody on the team got the ball, they gave it to Kobe.
If every play is drawn for Kobe, and I'm not telling you guys are wrong, you guys are sitting here telling me I'm wrong, which I don't care if you think I'm wrong because that's a disagree thing. That's fine. But what I'm saying is, yes, every call can still be called from Kobe, and a team can be like, all right, we just got to lock in on Kobe and let everybody else go off. So why did Kobe score 61 that night? He was just that much better than everybody else on the court. They couldn't draw something up to make Kobe miss shots. Let's talk about Kobe. Very inefficient. He couldn't take 20 more shots. You couldn't force him to take bad shots. Kobe was knocking down everything. Yes, his will, his skill, but they didn't fucking was up on him, giving him all the work to be like, yo, you got to make us, you going to have to give us this.
Well,
no,
he didn't have
they
it.
was like, yo,
they don't have those type of
quarters,
defenders to do that off the rib.
The first
so
3 quarters,
that.
So who was Kobe second on that team?
Who was Kobe's
D'Angelo
what?
Russell.
All right, so who you game planning for, D'Angelo Russell or Kobe Bryant?
But I'm talking about
who are
the
you
Jazz.
game planning for? If the Jazz, the last game, who are you game planning for?
No, Gordon Hayward was doing his best to stay in front of Kobe. He just couldn't.
You playing it for Kobe,
right? And Kobe scored 60. So what happened to the game plan? It's because
that wasn't an efficient 60.
Like, yo, let Kobe do his thing. We ain't going nowhere. It's like I can understand your argument. We talking about a team that needed that win to get to the playoff. Literally, it's a Jazz team that ain't going nowhere. They ain't going nowhere. There's nothing they can do in this game that will make them do anything but go home after.
And
this.
that's not
so
true because leading up to that night, the implications got
the
shot.
People that have that
what
much respect for Kobe, we were like, yo, let Kobe. I'm not saying you got. I understand Pete broke it down. When y'all get guys hear me say, let Kobe get off, you're thinking about they're stepping aside, let Kobe. No, what I'm saying, let Kobe get off is let him get to the. Let him do his thing. We're gonna play defense.
But that's what you're saying,
bro. No,
all right, let's get that piano playing. Let's get that piano playing. Let's
let
wrap
him
it
do
up,
his
baby.
thing. All right, P, he's still in your
Final thought first.
Yeah, we could get into
Slow
final
down,
thoughts.
Roy.
But no, it's a great
thought,
argument.
brother.
I don't listen. I respect all you guys' opinion, but I don't care if you disagree with me. But that's my opinion. You're not gonna tell me
sure.
DK, you're not gonna tell me I'm wrong for my opinion.
Pistol Pete Maravich is the greatest basketball player of all time.
Just like you guys say, I shouldn't lose. They let him get off. GK, you can't tell nobody that they're wrong for their opinion. You can say you disagree about their opinion, and that's all I was looking for. But when you tell me I'm wrong, now I'm gonna go hard on you because I'm not wrong. You're not gonna tell me I'm wrong in my opinion. I know what I saw in that game. That's how I felt about that game. And if I was to go watch Shaq's last game, even though Shaq wasn't that dominant, there are gonna be some plays where niggas just let Shaq dunk the ball. When KD retired, there's gonna be some plays when they let Kobe let KD do his thing. When LeBron retired, there's gonna be games, the final couple of games, they're gonna let LeBron go out with a hoorah. Because guess what it does for the NBA? Even if you don't believe it. You know the NBA is all about their money, bro. All about their money.
Kobe could have went out there and
shot
a dud, and nobody would have cared, and it would have been the same stuff.
No,
Kobe would have gone. He would have been glorified. The same.
Now, what are you talking about? That 61-point game is glorified now.
I love watching it. It was beautiful. It's
glorified, bro. And I'm not taking away from Kobe. Don't think I'm doing that. I don't want none of you guys think I'm taking away from Kobe because I'm not. Kobe played his ass off in that game. I watched it. But what I'm saying is the Jazz could have played a lot better defense on Kobe. That's what I mean by they let him get off. If they could have played a lot better defense because Kobe didn't have nobody on that team, but Russell, which was in turmoil with the team because he beat
don't have no defenders to make that case.
And what's the name too from the Knicks right now? What's the name was on that team too? Randall.
Yeah, Randall, but Randall wasn't the Randall he was though. That's what I'm saying. Who was Kobe's second option for you to game plan to shut him down? That's all I'm saying. Kobe is the option to shut down, and they didn't do that, which leads me to think, in my opinion, that they let Kobe get off. Whether you agree with it or not, that's fine. But
I think the Lakers let Kobe get off more than Utah.
You can say that too. If you would have said that, but if you would have said that while I was arguing, I would agree with you. Maybe the Kobe's is like, yo, we're gonna draw plays up and put everybody in screens in front of you and let you shoot the ball. That could be true.
Kobe was spoon-fed that whole game.
Yeah, by both teams. It's what I'm saying. By both teams.
All right, let's get into some final thoughts. We're talking in circles.
They had two spoons and one just like this. After the spoon came out, they were just going like this to Kobe. He's that great of a player.
I'm gonna jump to my final thought real quick.
They're going to final thoughts.
I'm gonna jump to my final thought. Roy looks tired. That's one final thought.
Roy, we talking in circles at the end.
Okay, I'm getting on everybody today. Okay,
this is beautiful. So I don't even know why we had the argument because it's just like
I love it. I love it. This is great, man. From the tears to GK cursing at Frank. Okay, Frank, go burn your bathrobe. Roy's in a rush. Roy got to choose his words. I think Pistol Pete is the greatest basketball player of all time. And GK, I love when you type messages. That's pretty funny.
I didn't even read it. That nigga said he muted me. He said he muted me. Hold on, I got a keyboard.
Y'all all argue. He was typing.
That shit was funny, man.
I know GK gonna keep cutting me off. Because when GK don't like where I'm going, he's like, nah.
I didn't even know he was muted.
Yeah,
I didn't even know he was
muted.
muted.
Button on him because look, even after I unmuted him, I told him unmute. He did it again. Yeah, I was saying something. He butted it and he kept trying to go. So I was like, nah, I'm gonna mute him real quick, and then when I finish with Frank, I'll go to GK. I'm gonna handle you guys one at one because you ain't jumping me, and that's what y'all just trying to do. Y'all all trying to
listen. Frank caught it in the first session, and Troy caught it in the second session.
Word is wrong.
I love it though. I love it.
We welcome it. We welcome it.
I love it,
Yes.
especially when I get GK tight and he start making those faces. I'm gonna send you a picture of a face that GK made during this episode while
GK
Frank
looking
was
real
talking.
red over there right
When
now.
Frank was
He
talking
looking
during the
real red.
tears, GK know what I'm talking about. When Frank was talking during the tears, GK was making this face, and I wanted to stop Frank to see what GK was thinking because I love when he makes faces because he always thinking something. But then I let it go, and I'm like, nah, I'm gonna fucking screenshot that to you guys because he had the funniest.
Testicular fortitude.
Yeah, my final words, GK.
Yeah, I
I
just
just
thought
prolonged the show by 30 minutes.
Yo, when
We
you said
should-
final thought, GK, you should have muted him real quick.
Well,
He
it's
would
funny-
have typed it.
It's funny that he just said that
Type your
thing
final thought.
because he was like, all right, he was like, sorry for cutting you off. Go ahead, go. And then I said about 5 words, and then he immediately cut me off again. But anyway,
Hey, but he did it to me though. We did
no,
it
that's
same
fair.
time
Yeah,
to
no,
each
that's
other. It's
fair.
all right. It's all
That's
love.
fair, that's fair.
Go ahead, final thoughts. I'm gonna cut you off halfway through.
No, I
You
think
got 10 seconds.
we forgot to mention three records that I just wanted to bring up real quick. 1, Ricky Henderson's stolen bases. 2, Brett Favre's interceptions, 305. So just to put that in perspective, if you have a quarterback that throws 15 interceptions for 20 years in a row, you still don't break that interception record. And
That's
then
crazy.
Boston
Okay.
Celtics won 8 consecutive championships. I doubt any sports franchise in any sport's going to win 8 in a row. That's probably
Wait,
not
hold on a second. UCLA in college.
well in professional. I just mean,
Okay.
yeah.
Saying.
Pete, don't get your ass tore up on final messages, all right?
but
Don't
yeah,
what?
no,
What'd you
those-
say?
I said, don't get your ass tore up in final messages, all right?
I just
Supposed to be
thought
positive.
those 3 deserve to be mentioned. But that's my final thoughts.
Frank,
Um,
4 years
I was
crazy.
gonna
Don't
say-
listen to this guy.
Titans should be on Untouchables. Like, nah, but I just wanted to last one. I just wanted to say LeBron's record of going to 10 straight finals. I think that's going to be that's going to be a record that's going to stand the test of time. I think as
all different
years go on,
teams.
as years go on, that record right there is going to be more and more appreciated because I don't see how any player anywhere can get to the championships 10 straight times.
And with
Just one
different
player
teams.
alone. That's what I'm saying. So I think
Has
that's
anybody
as
as time
ever
goes on,
been?
that
Sorry, has anybody ever
No.
been the main guy that has gone like on different teams? Has anybody else done that?
no, I think LeBron was the first player to win a ring with 3 different teams.
Is that really a good thing, though?
Yeah.
But as the
Hell
main
yeah.
as the main guy, I'm
Everywhere
saying
you
not
go,
even-
Is that
you
still
got-
really a good thing, though?
Why?
Everywhere you go, you bring a
that
ring.
means the
Team-
common denominator was him.
That's true. I
That could
think
be
yeah.
true. That could be true, but
I mean, it doesn't help that he lost some of them, but
no, it's not even about the losing. Is it a good thing that a player goes to 3 different teams and wins a title?
For
Yeah.
him.
That's my final thought. Is it
Yeah.
a good thing?
For him.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, Shit, if you can bring
Yeah,
the championship,
I mean, the
home, there you go.
championships are a good thing, but 3 different franchises, I don't know. It's a little iffy there.
So, but basically, what that says is I can play with any franchise with
Yeah,
any
that's true.
and
player,
still get them to the
with any
championship.
coach, and
Yeah.
the difference is me.
Yeah, no, I agree there. I
Mhm.
100% agree there. LeBron is that dude that nobody else has done it. He's the first to do it, and I agree. It's impressive, but does it really matter? That's my point. Does it just like I
Oh
had
yeah,
LeBron's?
no, I'm just saying it's
I
impressive.
had I agree. It's impressive. Just like I had LeBron's Christmas record. He passed Kobe for most points scored on Christmas. That's another thing to me is like, does it really matter? That shit don't matter.
The Christmas record doesn't really matter, but the 10 straight finals, I think that
Yeah, that matters.
That-
It
that's
matters.
Christmas
impressive.
record doesn't matter
That's
because all
impressive.
teams don't get to
Right,
play
right.
on Christmas. So how is it fair?
Right.
That's true. I didn't even think about
All
that.
teams and players don't get. They put the best teams on Christmas
Yeah.
for the ratings. If you
I
want a
didn't even
team
think
that
about
don't
that.
play good or ain't good, and you don't get ever, the Memphis Grizzlies ain't even, and they got John Morant. They don't get on
Mhm.
Christmas Day. So
Yeah,
how
gotta
did he
put
ever
the
make that
top- the
record?
top teams up there. But Roy, final thoughts.
Final thoughts, man. So the NFL season's winding down, and we got some high stakes football coming up. So enjoy these last couple of weeks, and especially, man, fantasy players. It's
I'm in the
playoffs.
championship.
I'm in the championship too. Look, if you're in
I
this
kind
league,
of screwed myself. I didn't fix my lineup and I lost.
ooh, well, I just say, playoffs and fantasy, it's so hard to root for one thing and not the
Mhm.
other because you're like, oh, my team needs this, but damn, I really need this guy to pop off against my
Oh, shit,
team.
my B, never mind. I'm in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, so I mean, have fun with these last couple of weeks because when football's not here no more, like regular season football and no fantasy, we're gonna miss it, man. We always do.
Mhm.
We're always like
I
that.
love my fantasy, bro.
Exactly,
Wait a minute, I
man.
was
So
supposed to
enjoy
lose
it.
this week and I didn't. I won. I'm 13-2. I finished the season 13-2. Let's go.
Yeah, so enjoy this fantasy season wrapping up, and then enjoy the regular season to find out who makes playoffs.
For real.
Thank you, Dak Prescott. 31 points helped me win this week.
How much money you got on the line in yours, Roy?
I'm a commissioner in one. I got a $50 league, and I'm in two other ones where I got a $100 league. I'm in the finals in two.
Yeah,
of them, and
hopefully
one
next
of them
year,
I'm in third
right?
Place.
Thank you.
I'm in a championship of a $200 league, 10-man team, 10-man league.
Oh, mine's 12.
1,200 first prize.
Oh, damn. I like that.
So that's what I was thinking. You guys got to let me know next year. We still got the crew together. God willing, you know, you guys stick around. We got to get into some fantasy football between us.
Y'all don't want me taking y'all's money like that. I
We
can't
gotta definitely get into some
candy
fantasy
from a
football
baby
between
like
us.
that from y'all.
Because, you know, I've been looking for a crew that I could play fantasy football with, and I ain't got none. So you guys look like you're going to be it. But everybody got their final thoughts. Anybody else last thing to say? I love it. I'm going to say this, my final thought. I love it when we all get in our bags. You know, we all got different opinions. We all disagree. I set them up at the end because I kind of knew it was going to tick y'all off that I said that, because it kind of like, you guys didn't take that approach last time I said it, like I said, but you guys did say some of the stuff that you said today last time I brought it up. So I appreciate it, but I did want to dive into it more because we didn't have a chance. So I wanted to spring that on you guys. And I just love you guys' reactions, especially GK's faces. I'm telling you, we're going to have an episode. Pete, remember I told you we're going to do a blooper episode, right? Where we got all the fuck ups and shit. I didn't tell you guys this, but I'm going to do a blooper episode where probably we be on, I'll have us on and I'll put the video together and we can watch it and react to our bloopers. And I'm going to have every face GK ever made, bro.
Listen, as long as all our comments about JPP's fingers makes it to the
They
blooper,
gotta be in there. They
course.
gotta be in there.
I'm gonna be like funny jokes, and it's gonna be me. I'm gonna be like slander, and then it's gonna be Pete. Slander.
Listen,
slander.
but I
You said the
agree.
man
Out of
had one
everything-
hand.
Out of everything we've said about JPP, I think what we said today about
what you said today.
we gotta give him
JPP gets his fingers back.
Let's go.
What
That's
is
the
up with that?
prime.
What is up?
That's the prime.
Yo, I don't feel bad about a lot of things I say. I actually felt bad about that one to JPP.
Like, come on,
My bad.
Pete. That was wild.
You're more
He got
elite.
JPP with his fingers back with all 5
You're more
fingers.
elite if you play with this than like this. That's all I'm saying.
Fireworks accident and boom, boom. But with that said, guys, thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of From the Sideline. I want to thank Roy, Frank, GK, my co-host Pete, you know, for showing up and having some fun. We had some good fun. You guys got into it about, you know,
Always.
what players you wanted in your 21-0 team, and then you guys got into it about the tiers, and then we got into it about Kobe last game, which was a little surprise for you guys. But yeah, good episode. We want to thank you guys at home for watching. Don't forget that we're up on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Music. And you can always catch us on YouTube. And like me and Pete like to say, man, don't be don't be afraid to hit us
Don't
up.
be
Send us
shy.
some comments. You want to ask Frank
be
something,
shy.
GK something, Roy something, put it down in the comments, bro. I'll
Yes,
slide it
sir.
to them, and I'll make sure they go over there and reply to you guys, man. We
If you
want to
make fun of Uncle Frank's, robe,
All want to know where I
Box.
purchased it.
They're gonna be like, hey, how many times you watch that thing?
all different flavors, all different
if you want to
colors.
send Frank a refund for his robe,
Go
Yes,
fund
you
me.
know somebody that
Look.
ate the Titans would give you a
Trying to
receipt.
tell you
with a
real
refund.
beanie,
hold on,
baby.
brother.
All right,
I
well,
heard
guys,
his
we're gonna
robes
get out of here.
in a
Peace
cut.
there.